and Lawrence, Camp centering Michelli and McMahon, Quillen centering Letary and Joshua, Grew centering Tverberg and Pizzetta. Then on the blue line, Mermis and Myers, Rafai and Thrun, Weber and Benning are the pairings. And Hildeby starts in goal tonight. He had a great game against Ottawa in the 40 minutes he played. And the Habs will come back. I'm just going to read off their top two lines because they are as they would start the season. Suzuki between Slavkovsky and Caulfield, Doc centering Demidov and Laine. I mean, that's an impressive setup there, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be a big test for this Toronto Maple Leafs team. Icing, some guys that are trying to crack the lineup. A lot of guys that played for the Toronto Marlies. You got Pizzetta, who's on the opposite side of the Montreal Canadiens, playing against his former team as well, too. But I'm really interested to see Easton Cowan. Can he take another step? I think he took a big step from Game 1 to Game 2, where he had the beautiful assist on the McMahon goal on the power play now. So it's going to be him and Laughton and Lawrence playing, that north-south style game. How is that going to match up against a high-flying Suzuki with Slavkovsky and Caulfield, or Patrick Laine with Doc and the electric rookie Demidov? So it's going to be a big test, and I think they're seeing if he can now challenge for this roster spot, because nothing is going to be easy for him. He has to be great, not good, to make this roster, and it's a big test for him tonight.
I'm interested in the second line the Leafs will ice tonight, Camp between Michelli and McMahon, just because, there's a lot of talk now that since Max Domi is coming back that he may start on the Matthews line. We don't know exactly where Michelli plays. As the coach has said, maybe with Waugh and who else? Joshua as well. So, there's different looks there. They're sort of figuring this out. But, when we saw him play the other night, he looked pretty good.
Yes, it's almost it's the get in where you fit in, bottom six, right? So you're going to use Camp, and this is an opportunity to sort of see where you fit in. But McMahon was great. Remember, he was struggling a little bit to put the puck in the net. He had a goal scorer's touch on his goal last game versus the Ottawa Senators. Michelli, again, another guy that came in, not really a big point guy, from 2 years ago with the Arizona Coyotes. Can he step up? But it's an opportunity for Camp. You saw Jankrook, his first game, step in and score 45 seconds into the game against Ottawa. He's got to show that he can be an everyday NHLer, because any way you do the math, there's too many forwards up front. There's going to be some guys on the outside looking in. I'm looking for Camp to bring his A game with McMahon and Michelli.
The opening faceoff is next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more, covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on Sirius XM FC 157.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it!
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The wait is over.
6 seconds left out of the corner.
The Stanley Cup Final is set.
The Florida Panthers will defend their title on their way back to the Stanley Cup Final.
For the second year in a row, it's Edmonton and Florida in the Stanley Cup Final.
Florida, Edmonton, two teams chasing hockey's ultimate prize. Follow all the action on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio puts you on the ice.
If you're trying to describe what playoff hockey is,
well, the ebbs and the flows, the momentum changes, the willingness to sacrifice whatever it takes, whether it's blocking a shot with your face. Every opportunity matters. We learn an awful lot about ourselves in the playoffs and how you rise to the challenge and are willing to do whatever it takes for the team to be successful.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91. We deliver the NHL.
With Rick Tocchet, new head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers.
What's special about the Philadelphia Flyers to Rick Tocchet?
The fan base, they loved hockey in this city. Some games you just don't have your legs, you don't feel great. For some reason, when you got the Spectrum, the fans made you like, nope, sorry, Talk, you can't take a night off. They willed you into that, give out everything you got, and I want to try to get that back here. I think the fans are itching for that.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91. The best insight, analysis, and entertainment. Overdrive, weekday afternoons at 4 p.m. on TSN 1050.
Game 3 of 6 for the Toronto Maple Leafs and their preseason as they tangle with the Bleu Blanc et Rouge in Montreal. And a back-to-back situation with the Canadiens coming to Toronto on Saturday. Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph, and the opening face-off will be brought to you by Alpine Credits. If you own your own home and need a loan, Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca. So this is a big one. Well, maybe not.
Well,
thank God they're making them less next year. They're going to be 4.
But you know what? It is big for Easton Cowan.
Yes, it is. And he's played every game.
Yep. So, there are some guys that are going to get an opportunity. We remember Fraser Mint a couple of years ago was the same thing. Was in the lineup almost on a regular basis during the preseason. And for some players on the bubble, it's an extra opportunity.
Camp, Michelli, and Bobby McMahon get the start up front for the Maple Leafs, and we're underway. Leafs to the left and the Canadiens to the right as we get a quick whistle on an offside at the Montreal blue line. The Canadiens are going to be a team that has bigger expectations. They got in last year. It's a situation now where they can't stumble.
Yeah, much like Ottawa, right? Once you crack your way into the postseason, now the expectations, and the Leafs know that better than anyone, are what more can you do?
Puck comes out at center ice. Suzuki working it in over the line to Caulfield on the left wing. He drops it back. A weak shot by Matheson went wide of the net. And now a cycle is cut off by the Maple Leafs, and they start out of their own zone. Myers getting it off the glass down into Montreal territory. Linesman waves that on, and back for it is Noah Dobson, a newcomer on the defense for the Canadiens, and one of their bigger acquisitions in the offseason. Up on the left wing, it comes to the line, brought back in by Toronto and flipped into the zone. Lorenz getting it down into the corner. They battle for it there. The puck comes free. Leafs get it back to the blue line. Just kept in then on the backhand by the Maple Leafs. Laughton. Now the puck in front of the net, but the Canadiens are going to push it out at center ice. Brought to center by Kirby Dach. Dach in on the right side. Couldn't get it in front of the net, and when they do, it's cut off there by Easton Cowan, who came back nicely to intercept that. He'll get to center, and as he's in the midst of getting a change, he'll flip it down into the Montreal zone. Mark Delgazzo getting it out at center, but he has it turned over. Pushed back in by the Maple Leafs. Trying to get after it is Dakota Joshua. Comes to the point. Long shot went wide of the goal. Cleared up on the wing, but it's going to go around back at the net. Sam Montembeault getting the start in goal for the Montreal Canadiens. He had a great year last year to get them into the postseason. 31-24-7, 2.80 his goals against average. And down at the other end, it's Dennis Hildeby, who's been perfect so far in the preseason. Leafs get it in over the line. A drop pass trying to drive the net was Lettieri, but he is forced into the corner. Puck along the near boards. Good hit in there by the Leafs to keep it in. Lettieri sends it high in the air. Pizzetta couldn't come out with it. And the former Canadian drills his man into the end boards as things starting to heat up physically here. Shot down into the Toronto zone. It banks in front of the net. And Hildeby will put the glove on it to stop play and bring a face-off in the zone.
Leafs have scored 6 goals in 2 games in the preseason. 5 of those coming in the first period. Saw them go a 2-0 lead against the Ottawa Senators a couple of nights ago. They had the game in hand into the third period.
Face-off coming to the left in the Toronto zone. Played off the boards there by Dakota Mermis to get it out, and it's going to be shot by the Leafs. Pizzetta into the Montreal end. Canadiens turn the puck over. Goes back to the net. Centering feed in front. Beaugeroux got it right, or Gruel got it right out in front of the net, but there was no one there. And it did the back door play, but no one was standing on the porch. Played along the boards, far side, Toronto zone. Myers starts out with it slowly, lifting it high to the Canadiens' blue line to allow a change of players. Canadiens back in their own zone. Played ahead by Dobson to center, and it's going to bounce down into the Toronto zone. Rafai sending it around the boards. It'll come back on the wing. Cut off there by Caulfield. Caulfield got it back, but it's turned over. Caulfield intercepting it partially, and the Canadiens don't give up an odd man rush because of it. Leafs play it into the Canadian zone. Camp taken to the boards and pinned there. Delgazzo trying to get it along the wall. Too well covered. It's pushed around back of the goal. Now centering pass in front of the net for Camp. Can't find it in a maze of legs. And it's going to go back into the corner. Lorenz taken down on the play, and the Canadiens go around back of the net with Juraj Slafkovsky trying to work his way out, but he won't get very far. No score. We're just nicely underway in Montreal. Played out into the neutral zone on a bank pass by O'Rourke that was cut off. Played up on the wing, and the Leafs push it out at center, and now a foot race with Lorenz trying to get down. Here's Laughton cutting in and scores! Scotty Laughton got loose on the right wing and beat the man to the puck. And Laughton scores to open the scoring for the Maple Leafs at 4:35 of the period.
What a great burst of speed. Gets a lane down the right wing boards. As this is just run around, and Laughton actually, Joe, blocks it. Defenseman tries to just wrist it from the blue line. Laughton blocks it. Bounces up the right wing boards of the left-handed shooting Leaf. The right wing circle snaps it far side on Montembeault to give the Leafs a 1-0 lead. Make that 6 of 7 preseason goals scored in the first period.
Pretty good shot right off the goalpost, but and it was a fairly sharp angle. I mean, the face-off dot's not a good spot to be scored on.
But because being the left-handed
changed the angle on it.
Yeah, was able to change the angle and go far side.
Myers back in his own zone. The Leafs with a 1-0 lead. Laughton getting his first goal of the preseason. Montembeault plays the puck around the boards. It's cut off. Myers stand on it completely, and the puck comes out at center. And the Canadiens have a 2-on-1 break-in across the line with Kirby Dach, and that kind of bogs down. And now a point shot is going to be gloved by the Hildebeest.
He's looked good, hasn't he?
He has. He played well the other night.
Wait for Scotty Laughton. I think, it's so important for guys to start the season. Brandon Carlo falls into that category as well. It's one thing to have the guys that are the pre-deadline pickups as you go for the playoff push, but I think it's, just having the summer to know you're going to be able to get acclimated a little more with the team that traded for you. Scott Laughton, just 2 goals in the 20 games that he played for the Leafs. 2 goals and 6 points in the regular season, and I think the expectations were a little bit higher, but pressure and the stakes were a lot higher for Laughton as well.
Well, and he kind of got bounced around between the checking roll, the third and fourth lines, and it will be interesting to see where he gets slotted in on a full-time basis this time around. Canadiens play it into the Toronto zone, and Rafai, who ended the season of David Reinbacher, their first-round draft pick in 2023 with a hit last year. Played up at center ice now. The Canadiens get it to the Leaf blue line and in, but it's going to be offside. It bogged down and just at the blue line, and it put the rush offside as Rohr was in early on the left wing.
And for Reinbacher, only 10 games played last year. Laval, and season before that, only 11 games played.
He's from Austria. came over to play his junior hockey with Laval. And then they have another Lavalian. And that is another Jackeye, Florian Jackeye, who built from the same cloth as his brother.
Penalty minutes.
175 last year in Laval, yes, as the puck goes out of play up into the screen.
Wouldn't it make a great reality show, lock in the two Kachuk brothers with the two Jackeye brothers? Like a cage match,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. What I envisioned, and we were talking about this, what happened if they were in a minor hockey tournament, 8 or 10 years of age, and they were all playing mini sticks against one another in the hall? And watch how that developed.
Fire extinguisher.
Fire extinguisher. Alarms going off. Parents fighting. Oh, it would have been great. Great entertainment. Canadians in the Leaf zone trying to work it out in front. Davidson had it knocked away. Punched back to the point. And then stolen back by the Maple Leafs. And Kemp is away on the left wing. Wearing an assistant captain's jersey tonight is David Kemp. And out come the Canadians on the right side. Philip Messer getting it in on the left wing for Matheson, going wide. Tries to wrap it around on the short side. And the big fella, Dennis Hildeby, is down to cover that up and bring a stoppage of play. Scotty Laughton wearing the assistant captain's jersey for the Leafs tonight has them out in front, 1-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's week 4 in the NFL, and whether you're winless or undefeated, a championship is still in reach. And the experts of Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio are passing out winning strategies.
I'm telling you, do not bench Ashton Genty. Not this week.
From the latest injury news to lineup decisions,
I'm excited for Jackson Dart, but not starting him yet.
Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help on Sirius XM Channel 87 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's a pleasure to have back on the program Coach Joel Quenneville, back behind an NHL bench next fall.
And I couldn't be more excited about the opportunity to be in Anaheim. Working with Beaker over the last couple of weeks, we're having a lot of fun. The personnel and the young kids kind of represents and reminds me of what we had in Chicago when I first went there. And we got a really young team that's going to be exciting to work with for sure.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
1-0 Toronto. Canadians have won their 2 exhibition games, beating teams from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh in preseason action. The Leafs are 1-0-1, beating the Senators in Ottawa and losing in overtime the other night after squandering a 2-0 lead. Canadians with the puck in the Toronto zone. A pass in front of the net. Backdoor play. And it got squandered there on the short side as Slavkovsky couldn't finish. Canadians with it again into the slot area. Reinbacher can't shoot it. Then a shot from the far point was blocked, and the Maple Leafs are going to get it out at center. Up on the right side for Laughton, a little bit too far. And now the Canadians have it stolen away momentarily by Cowan, but are able to muscle it back in over the line. Suzuki trying to get it in on the right side. Delgado trying to work it along the boards, and now cut off by the Maple Leafs, but not cleared back of the net. When it is, it's Henry Frun coming away with it, and the Leaf defenseman airmails it high, too high. There'll be an icing call here against Toronto with 12:47 left to play in the first period, and it's 1-0 Toronto.
They mentioned Sam Mondebeau getting the start for the Montreal Canadiens. Easily career high in games played at 62, 31 wins. And a huge blow to Montreal in the playoffs when they lost Montreal in Game 3 against the Washington Capitals.
Back to the point it goes. O'Rourke trying to get it to the net. It bounces to the side, cleared into the corner, and Thrun trying to get it up the wall, sends it back to Myers, and the Leaf defenseman will get it to the line, but not out. Kept in by Kirby Dach. Played to the near wing. A battle there with Cowan, won by the Maple Leaf. Got it out to the line and out at center ice. And now Scotty Laughton will lift it into the zone and peel to the bench as Dakota Joshua goes into the forecheck for the Maple Leafs. Leafs get a turnover. Joshua back to the point. Long shot coming off the stick of Marshall Rafai, and an easy catch for Montembeault to stop play with 12-12 to go. Second shot on goal for the Maple Leafs. Their first shot was Scotty Laughton's partial breakaway, and a 1-0 Toronto lead.
Patrick Laine get injured preseason last year, the game against the Leafs, and came back. Still managed the 20-goal season, but 15 of the 20 on the power play for Patrick Laine, which I think is great to have a power play specialist. However, I'm sure they would like him to improve in the plus-minus. He was minus 14.
Boy, you think of the initial meeting between Matthews and Laine in Winnipeg and the chanting, Laine's better. And that has not proven to be true.
Still a pretty opportunistic chant, though. The first time.
Yeah, he had a great game that night. Here's Rafai getting in deep into the Montreal zone for the Leafs. Tied up on the boards. The puck's knocked high in the air with a glove, but the Canadiens come away with it. And they'll play it down into Toronto territory, and Marshall Rafai goes back to recover the puck. Rafai trying to shield off the forecheck. Backhands the puck high to center. Down to the Canadiens' blue line. Cut off by David Reinbacher and got around on the boards to his defense partner, and Delgazzo got it out at center ice. Leafs there again. Backhanding it deep again into the Canadiens' end. Now trying to come away on the far boards, and they do. Ryan Tverberg got it into the side of the net, bounced around back of the goal. Leafs around diligently back of the goal, playing it back to the point. Gruel got it there, a long shot. Montembeault had to make a right pad save, and the Canadiens will carry back into the neutral zone and then regroup the puck. Brought out at center ice by Delgazzo. Played to the Leaf line and down into Toronto territory. Bounced back into the corner, and along the wall it's going to be launched high to center ice. Chipped by the Maple Leafs. Tverberg down into Montreal territory. Camp working there with Bobby McMahon. McMahon bodied to the boards and knocked down by Ryan O'Rourke. And the Canadiens get the puck free and are going to launch it high to center ice. Myers playing it back. Turning with it is Matthias Michelli. He dropped the puck back. It's cleared out, but cut off by the Canadiens, but stolen back by Michelli. And Michelli circles in his own zone and now gets it ahead. And the Leafs are going to get it just in over the line as it's chased down into the corner by Cowan. Quickly brought back by Ryan O'Rourke. And the Canadiens have it under control. Klurman gets it ahead at center, and it's played down into the Toronto zone. Puck along the boards and into the near corner. Laughton couldn't get to it as it comes to the point. Matheson D-to-D and a long shot to the side of the net, centered in front on a backhand, and that was deflected well wide. And now here's Cowan leading the rush to center in on the left wing, trying to get a return pass. That doesn't connect. And now the Leafs with Laughton getting it on the boards. He got filled in and knocked to the ice, but the Leafs come away with the loose puck. Laughton trying to find Cowan in front, and the Canadiens intercepted that and got it high to center ice. Like Laughton could have taken that to the net.
Yeah, huge hit he took just before that, too.
Noah Dobson, formerly with the New York Islanders. Getting it up on the left wing for Matheson, who plays a bouncing shot in, and a huge rebound off the glove of Hildeby. Does not cost him as the Leafs get it to center. Lettieri sending it down into the right wing corner. Bodying in there is Jacob Quillen. Lettieri trying to dig it out along the near boards, trying to get it back to the point, and does shot taken there by Matt Benning. He is the nephew of Jim Benning and has been in the league a number of years. Played along the boards and into the corner, and unable to get to it was Lettieri. And now here the Canadiens getting it out at center. Unable to penetrate the blue line was Demidov, and the Leafs have it in their own zone. Up for Lettieri. He'll drop it back for Myers. Myers got around one, got it in on a poke check to get it down deep. Gruel trying to work it out in front, but couldn't. And with 8:05 left to play in the first period, the Leafs holding on to a 1-0 lead. Scotty Laughton scoring the goal. Canadiens regrouping back at their own blue line. Lead pass at center goes astray. Loose puck to the near boards with a chase for it. Poked in over the line by Joshua Roy. He goes down into the corner after it. Can't come out with it. The Maple Leafs do. They'll get it to center, and it is Verberg sending it deep into Montreal territory. Canadiens back there. Turning back up ice is Klurman. Nate Klurman got it in on the left wing. A little move by Luke Tuck. That didn't connect. The Leafs turn the puck over and get it back out at center ice, but can't do much with it there. Still bouncing as it goes down into Montreal territory. Scotty Laughton with the only goal and one of 3 shots on goal for the Maple Leafs. The Canadiens have had just 2 on Dennis Hildeby. Have it back at the net, though, and off on the wing a shot. That was deflected just in front of the net by Florian Xhekaj. Xhekaj back of the goal, can't come out with it. And it's pushed ahead, and Michelli will bank it out at center. Got it ahead, 2-on-1 possibility. Pass into the slot again. Laughton scores! Scotty Laughton gets 2. And the Maple Leafs have a 2-0 lead. Rather opportunistic, I would suggest.
Boy, Michelli, though, Joe, on his first attempt to pass it out of the Leafs zone, it's blocked. He gets it back, and a one-time bank pass off the right wing boards to get it up to Bobby McMahon, and that led to the odd man rush with Laughton streaming down the middle of the ice. Took the pass between the hash marks, and this barely gets through Montembeault. Little forehand, backhand move in alone on the Montreal goaltender. I think Montembeault may have actually, Joe, kicked this into the net.
Yeah, he got a piece of it.
Yeah, it looked like it was between his legs, and as he turned, he kicked it over the line.
Well, in 3 games, that's the 7th goal the Leafs have scored in the first period. So, starting on time used to be a familiar phrase. That hasn't been the issue, right? Finishing.
Closing on time.
That's right. Played out at center ice with 6:13 to go here in period number 1. Caulfield will drop it back into his own zone. Banked off the boards then by Reinbacher. And then he had it returned, and the Canadiens will now get it out at center. And Suzuki to the line, had it bogged down, but is able to come out of a scrum with it. Suzuki with a pass to the near side, and Laine couldn't settle it down. Laine given a jolt on the boards, and the Maple Leafs start away with it. Up ahead at center it goes. Flipped into the line by Lettieri. Lettieri steals it from a maze of legs and then plays it deeper into the Canadian zone. Canadiens regrouping. O'Rourke got it ahead, and out come the Canadiens to center across the line. Klurman into the slot, and we have a whistle.
Got to be a penalty coming up now.
Well, with the music, pretty sure that's what is probably going to happen. So we'll take a break. The Leafs with a 2-0 lead. Scotty Laughton has scored both of the Toronto goals. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
People sometimes ask, sure, you can consult.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs game. Please take a second to hit that like button and bring more hockey fans here in the chat. Thanks for keeping it classy. I missed you guys. Wanted to hang out during the games live, listening to Joe Bowen's final season. So thank you for being here. Thanks for keeping it classy. And please let your friends know about the games. We'll be live Saturday morning for Brentford and Manchester United, like we always are for all the Man U games. As well, that evening, Montreal and Toronto, round 2. This time we'll be in Toronto. We'll see you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. Go Leafs, go. Go Manchester United, go. Cheers, everybody.
EyeSight Driver Assist to help spot the scooter delivery guy texting, merging, and eating all at once? Ugh, it's standard. Parallel parking perfectly while someone watches? Uncommon. But in a Subaru? Standard-ish. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models. And get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Jerry getting the penalty. Not sure what it is for as yet. Tripping at 14:34 as we see it on the screen.
Not been an overload of excitement for the team, the fans in attendance right here. Yeah, this is on O'Rourke. It's just sort of a little bit of a slew foot after O'Rourke played it up the left wing boards from behind the Montreal Canadiens net. Well, despite the fact Fine had 10 power play goals, Suzuki had 9. They were 21st in the NHL in power play.
Leafs have immediately shot the puck down the ice. They have given up 2 power play goals and 9 times short thus far in the preseason. Canadiens coming to center. Drop the puck back. Bit of a maze at the blue line. Turns the puck over and shot down the ice again by the Maple Leaf penalty killers. 5 minutes to go here, period number 1. The low shot game, 4-3 favoring Toronto, and 2 of the 3 have beaten Montembeault. Here the Canadiens in across the line. Demidov into the corner, stolen by the Leafs, played to the line but not out. Kept in on the far boards. Demidov in along the boards, looking in front for Doc. It comes to Line A, left wing side, a shot. That was stopped by Hildeby. The puck in the near corner, pushed up on the wing. It'll be trapped at the blue line by Noah Dobson. Dobson getting a return pass into the slot with the shot. Blocked and quickly fired the length of the ice by the Leaf defense. Brought on now by the Canadiens with 44 seconds left in the power play. First of the game, 3:13. Caulfield across the line. Into the corner goes Tuck. Trying to get it back. Joshua Waugh to the blue line. Matheson in on the near half boards for Caulfield. Back to the point it comes. Matheson again to Caulfield. They play catch with it. Matheson tries the other side. A shot. Suzuki's wrist shot is easily caught by Dennis Hildeby. With 22 seconds left in the power play. Yeah, sorry, Jimmy.
Luke Tuck is the younger brother of Alex Tuck. First came into the league with the Vegas Golden Knights and the Buffalo Sabres. And it's
funny how families can put a number of kids into the National Ice Hockey League.
We already talked the Jack guys.
Yep.
Tuck, Linos.
Well, you know what? It's hand-me-down equipment, eh? On the right wing side, Canadiens back to the point. Matheson doesn't shoot it. Then he does, and he scores.
I think this was Mike Matheson. I don't know if there was that much of a screen, Joe, in front of Hildeby. But he gets the puck on the top of the right wing circle. And I think it looked like he looked off. Like he was going to pass and then just snapped it. Blocker signed on Hildeby and seemed to surprise the Leaf goaltender.
I wasn't so sure that he fanned on the first one. But we'll get a look on the replay. Yeah, no, he didn't. No, you're right. He looked like he was going to make a pass with it and then decided to shoot it.
And I don't know if this goes off anything, but Hildeby. Oh, you know what? A little more traffic. You get the behind the net view.
Yeah.
A little more traffic in front. Hildeby sort of looked to his left, and the puck went around the bodies in front of him the other way to his right, up under the crossbar.
Yeah, Dakota Mermis was right in front of him and kind of took the eyes away from him a little bit. So the Canadiens are on the board with their 4th shot on goal. Leafs had the puck down behind the Canadiens' net, trying to center for McMahon. That didn't work, and McMahon has to work to the point and doesn't. Now a shot from the blue line. Big rebound in front, and a tripping call coming to Montreal. It'll go back to the blue line. Here's McMahon with a shot and scores! Bobby McMahon. This line has been pretty good.
Remember, I mean, the best stints that Bobby McMahon had last year was when he was up on the line with Max Domi and Nick Robertson. And here it's Michelli that actually is taking the puck to the net. He gets taken down. That was going to be the tripping penalty, but the Leafs managed to hold on to it. And eventually it's worked out to Bobby McMahon, who gets the puck at the blue line. Montreal, it was as if the Canadiens, Joe, were thinking, well, let's just get the whistle and we'll kill off the penalty. Everybody backed in, and McMahon was able to skate in 2 or 3 strides from the blue line, middle of the ice, and then snap it through a maze, much like Matheson seconds earlier, to restore the 2-goal lead from Toronto.
Michelli's going to get an assist on that goal, I believe. That'll mean he has assisted on 4 of the last 5 goals the Leafs have scored in the preseason. So
there might be something there. I mean, like I said, you look at his numbers a couple of years ago, and Michelli was pretty impressive. Only 8 goals and 8 goals and 10 assists in 55 games last year. But 40 assists the year before, 57 points. And with all due respect, Arizona, Utah now, but Arizona at the time, might have the opportunity to play with a bit higher level players. And we got to give David Camp some credit there as well. Joe, he's the one that took the eyes away from Mondembo going to the Montreal net, standing in front of the Canadiens goalie.
So the Leafs quickly restore the 2-goal lead after the power play goal by Matheson. 2:38 to play here in period number 1. And the Leafs have a 3-1 lead. Chipped along the boards by the Canadiens. They don't get it out. The long shot there deflects wide. That's the first period goal the Leafs have given up in 3 preseason games. Another scramble in front of the Canadiens' goal. But it is dug out and brought out at center ice now by Rohrer and down to the Leaf blue line where Myers took it away from him. Leafs swinging around back at the net with Lettieri dropping it back, and the Leafs are getting a change. Henry Thrun goes back at the Toronto goal to wait for teammates to get into position with under 2 minutes to play in the first period. 3-1 Toronto. Leafs down into the corner but unable to penetrate, and it's back out at center ice and sent into the Toronto end. Of the cage to punch it around the boards, but it's right onto a Canadian stick. Down to the side of the net, trying to deflect it in front was Kirby Dach. Stolen back by Toronto. Leafs punch it up on the near wing to try and get it. Oh, a good hit there. And taking the brunt of that was to Verberg, and he is heading to the bench. No, staying out there. Pretty good hit, though. And now we got a whistle.
The Montreal
slash. There's a Leaf player without a stick. Maybe it was slashed out of his hands. Well, we're going to go to a commercial break, so we can't tell you exactly what happened. We will when we come back. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hear all the action of the 45th Ryder Cup on Sirius XM.
Tracking towards the hole, right of the center, arms raised, unbelievable.
Can the Americans win back the Cup on home soil?
The Ryder Cup is the most nerve-wracking, intense atmosphere that we can play in. You're really looking around at a team and you really want to play well.
Sirius XM's
Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Come on, everybody, get the chant started. Let's get behind our buds as we take on the Canadiens tonight. Thank you for being here. Please make sure to hit that like button. And a big shout out to Steve A. for his awesome song, which we'll be playing during the intermission, as well as loyal, true Canadian heart. Toronto Maple Leafs, loyal, true Canadian heart for the super chat. Thank you so much. Now, go Leafs, go. Come on, get that chant going. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in there.
Are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Flashing penalty coming to the Canadiens. And is it Line? I believe it is. The Leafs scored with the delay penalty coming up when McMahon scored 30 seconds after the Canadiens had gotten on the board, and now the Leafs with a chance to open up a 3-goal lead here on the power play with Line in the box.
Montreal's penalty kill pretty good last season. 9th overall, 80.9%.
Scotty Laughton, who has scored twice, out with Lettieri, Maccelli, Tverberg back on the point, along with Mermis, and the Canadiens win the draw and fire it off the glass, and down the ice it'll go. The intermission will cut into this power play with 1:09 to go in the period. Leafs are 6. 1:45 left in the power play. Brought to center ice. Maccelli across the line. Tverberg works it back to Maccelli. Back to Tverberg. Returned along the boards. Canadiens steal it, and they'll get it out into neutral ice. And Suzuki's going to rag the puck a little bit in center ice territory. Drop it back to his defense, who iced the puck. 43 seconds left in the period. Brought to center by Mermis. He drops it in toe. Brought in over the line by Maccelli. Played around the boards and a race for the puck in the near corner. Leafs get enough bodies over there to create a scrum. Canadiens, though, are able to get the puck free, and they're going to fire it out and down the ice. Just 17 seconds left in the period now. And brought out by Myers. To center. Shot in by David Camp. Into the corner on the far side. Camp can't come out with it. The scrum continues with the final seconds ticking down. And a backhand towards the net will end the period, with the Leafs taking a 2-goal lead into the dressing room as Scotty Laughton and Bobby McMahon score the goals for Toronto. And they lead it 3-1.
Well, pretty good road games when you consider you get Linus Ullmark for 3 in the first period, and now Samuel Mondamon 3 goals against in Montreal Canadian goals. So some decent pace to it, but let's face it, up until the last 3 or 4 minutes, there was not a lot going on offensively for either team, and it looked like the goaltenders were a little bored until they got busy later on.
7-5 the shots favoring Toronto, and that's only that improved in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, this feels like the 80s.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes. All right. Anyway, it is a 3-1 Toronto lead. Anthony Stewart will join Jim Taddy for our intermission when we return. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 on Sirius XM Channel 156 is the destination for wrestling conversation.
Wrestling is a passion. Wrestling is an obsession.
And on Off the Ropes, Jonathan Coachman brings you inside the ring with legends like WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry.
That's what I do!
It's Off the Ropes, weekdays at 2 Eastern on the all-new Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, Channel 156 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Coulias.
It's a pleasure to have back on the program Coach Joel Quenneville, back behind an NHL bench next fall.
And I couldn't be more excited about the opportunity to be in Anaheim. Working with Beaker over the last couple of weeks, we're having a lot of fun. The personnel and the young.
They say 1967 was the last time we danced, hoisting silver, hearts entranced. Since then, fate's played a wicked game, but we wear the crest, we chant the name. Sittler lit the night with 10, Turnbull fight 5 from the back end. Clark through thunder, Gilmore spun gold, Sundin stood tall, brave and bold. Could you Claude saves from the jaws of defeat. Salmon's rush is pure elite. Reimer cried, we cried too. Matthews came and hope felt new. Marner weaves, Nylander flies. Rally's rush electrifies. We've seen the ghost, we felt the pain, but every April we rise again. Son of a pitch, I'm a Leaf fan. When Gretzky's high stick went unseen, when Montreal crushed our playoff dream, when Boston came back from 4-1 down, we wore the blue, we bore the frown. Son of a pitch, I'm a Leaf fan. Through Ballard's chaos, through Sunday's tears, through decades of drought, through wasted years, but loyalty, that's our brand. We stand, we chant, we clap our hands, we bleed the white, we wear the blue, we dream of what we're born to do. Raise that cup, parade the street, Maple Leafs, our hearts still beat. So cue the music, strike the chord, this ain't just hockey, it's folklore. From Carlton's grin to legends past, we'll leave forever built to last. Son of a pitch, I'm a Leaf fan, and when fate knocks us out again, we'll sing this verse, we'll feel the flame, because every year we play the game. As Leaf fans, we'd all like to thank Joe Bowen for all the calls he made. Maybe this year he'll call a cup. As Leaf fans, you know, we'll never give up. Never give up.
The Leafs live here.
Played up on the wing, and the Leafs push it out in center, and now a foot race with Lorenz trying to get down. Here's Laughton cutting in and scores! Scotty Laughton got loose on the right wing and beat the man to the puck, and Laughton scores to open the scoring for the Maple Leafs.
What a great first period by Scott Laughton. He has 2 goals. The Leafs have a 2-goal lead, 3-1 over the Habs. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. Jim Taddy and former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. And Stu, you know, one of the concerns or one of the things that we were looking at was the development of secondary scoring. Certainly that was a problem last year. But I would suggest to you that going back to the game Sunday and this game, because it's the B lineup, they look really good.
Yes, I guess you can call that a depth scoring bonanzas, right? So I think it's just, I think it's the forecast of where this group is at, right? It's a lot of guys vying for an opportunity to even be in the NHL at this point, let alone in the lineup. So it's bringing the best out of guys. Great job by Laughton tonight, looking like he's scored, 20, 25. I think his career high is 15 or 17 before, but he had a great shot, early on in that game to beat Montembeault wide. Great job on the breakaway. A couple moments later, a little forehand, backhand action as well too. So it's good because this competition is bringing out some great play, and guys are vying for legitimate opportunities. But I think that's how this group takes the next steps. Yes, we understand the Matthews and the and the Tavarises and the Matthew Nyses. Those guys are going to be carrying the mail. But if you can get some secondary or tertiary scoring and guys stepping up, Joshua, maybe getting back to 18 goals he had a couple seasons ago too. McMahon maybe hitting 30 goals. This team's going to be in pretty good shape come playoff time.
Yeah, Stu, just a suggestion. I don't know if we're going to use carrying the mail much anymore.
I just heard my buddy says he's on strike. For those that are driving right now expecting the mail in their box, it's not coming.
Yeah.
So Ontario Paulie talk there.
Yeah, that's that reference point dies. But I mean, the point made is Laughton gets 2 goals, McMahon scores, and that's his second goal in consecutive games, and so he needed to find the scoring touch to start the season. And the other sort of hidden story is Michelli now has 4 assists in the last 2 games, and they are, I'm going to call them starter assists. He starts the play, which is a good thing to do.
Yeah, Austin Matthews mentioned, I think, today in some of the quotes that he's just a guy that, creates time and space. He finds the seams, and he's a talented hockey player, right? He lost his way a little bit last year with Utah, but this is the guy that's had, 55, 57 points in this league. You just don't wake up and become that type of guy. He has that natural talent and skill. And I think for him, again, I don't think he just needs to be out there finding, the primary shooters and finding Nyes and the Matthews. I think he's got an opportunity to shoot some pucks and create as well, too, but it seems like it's been a seamless transition for him coming into this Toronto Maple Leaf roster, and he seems like he's been a great fit and another guy that can add to that secondary scoring for sure.
So on the TV side, it's on TSN4, by the way. The McMahon goal happens with an extra man because it's a delayed penalty call. There is some talk, and they brought it up in the broadcast. Would you ever consider allowing that, even if the Leafs were to score on that they'd still get a power play? Would you ever go to that rule?
Yes, a penalty is a penalty, and again, I was a guy that had to sort of, pad my stats a little bit, and there's some times where I go out there, hey, you know what, I need a quick 10 minutes here too, but I like it, but just going back to that goal by McMahon too, it's a great shot, but look at Kampf. Kampf was, he didn't get a point on that, I don't think so, but he was right in front of that net, parked in front, and that's, I'm sure, what Craig Berube wants from him, a guy that gets to traffic, gets the net. We know he's a good two-way player, he can make some plays and get it on the forecheck, but getting to those hard areas. So, discussing the rule changes, I'm still, I like the way the game is, but again, still getting that 2-minute power play, it would sort of urge teams and have them focus on playing the game the right way and not just, taking penalties the whole entire game.
And as Bonesy and Ralphie pointed out, not a lot of shots on goal, 7-5 in that period, but I did like the look of Dennis Hildeby. How about you?
I do. And he just looks like a calming presence there, right? And again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. And, we noticed Stolarz early in the year last year, like just something looks a little bit different. He looks dialed in, going back to the last game versus Ottawa, second and third saves. He's just relying on his training. He's getting across. He's not sprawling. And he looks huge, right? We made the comment last game, but, the difference between him and Akhtiamov in between the pipes. It's just he's a monster. They called him the Hill the Beast for a reason. So, it's a little bit more assuring and calming with not knowing how long Joseph Woll is going to be out, and he seems like he's ready for the next step in his development and possibly being a backup. It's a good problem to have. Too many forwards, capable D, and now too many goaltenders. It's great if I'm management and co when assessing this Toronto Maple Leafs roster.
Well, also great. You always need a third goalie, especially with the tandem, because they do have their injury problems, and history tells us that. But if you're number 3 goalie, somebody you drafted and developed, that's even better.
Yes, and I did do my homework today, and I believe the games between the two of Hildeby and Akhtiamov in the minors last year, I think Hildeby had 30 versus 26, so it was pretty evenly matched, and it's a competition for those two, right? So if Hildeby can come in and show he can be capable, he doesn't have to come in and give you a 940, play big, give the team to win. If you can give 10, 12 games this year where you come in and take that next step, that is a bonus for this Maple Leafs team.
One of the other battles for roster, when you look at the blue line pairings tonight, there's a lot of guys there battling to be number 7, right?
Yes, and, I think Philip Myers, and there's been some discussion about potentially Carlo maybe being on the move. I'll leave that for the TV crew to debate that as well. And there's been some talk about potentially Danford sticking around for, possibly a cup of coffee as well, too. He's shown that he's got the poise, and he doesn't look like a rookie out there as well, too. So this competition is created, everywhere amongst all the positions. But that's the day, today's day of the NHL. There's nothing guaranteed. There's injuries, there's sicknesses, there's illness. So you need capable guys. You can't just have, 22. You need 27, 28. Rafai, he had a good game a couple games ago as well, too. So you need that depth because there's going to be injuries in a now 84-game season. How many games are going to go? We're talking about 90 soon here. How many games they got to play?
No preseason games. Just drop the puck. Away we go. So you can add another 4. So you can.
Let's get right to playoffs. Let's go.
That's my answer and yours, right? Forget about everything else. Let's just start the run to the Stanley Cup now.
Yep, let's go.
All right, we'll leave it at that. 3-1 for the Leafs over the Habs after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
The scrape of blades, the clash of sticks. Hockey's more than a game. It's unrelenting, never-give-up moments that make you feel alive. And so you commit to the weekly ups and downs, the long road to the playoffs, You wear your heart on your sleeve and your jersey with pride. And when you're there for your team, the NHL Shop is there for you. Check out the largest selection of official NHL gear at nhlshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
Why is everyone talking about Bet99 Casino? Because you can experience Vegas in the palm of your hand. Enjoy Ontario's best real money slots or explore our live dealer games like blackjack and roulette. Bet99 is built by Canadians for Ontario players, so you can deposit and withdraw with confidence knowing your transactions are secure. Download the Bet99 app, Ontario's favorite online casino. 19 plus, play responsibly. Available to persons in Ontario only. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling or the gambling of someone close to you, please go to connectsontario.ca.
With most Subaru models, all-wheel drive comes standard. Heated front seats, high ground clearance, Apple CarPlay, standard. Eyesight driver assist to help when you're distracted by fall foliage, standard. Guy announcing the radio ad now wanting a Subaru? Yeah, standard. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models and get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Hey, seriously, can I get one?
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
The Prestons are a hockey family. Growing kids need food, and food needs a proper kitchen. I was sent by Alpine Credits to help with a home renovation loan. I introduced these young athletes to my superhero strength protein diet. Just consult your doctor before eating 300 eggs a day. Plenty of room in that new kitchen, though.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp now for free information on how to get started today. InventHelp provides invention services that help everyday inventors get started with their idea. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. Our services include professional materials needed to showcase your invention and 3D animation and prototype modeling that help you demonstrate your idea. Get down to the details of your idea with a technical drawing. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Take advantage of the opportunity to get started today.
Call 1-800-353-6013. That's 1-800-353-6013. Again, 1-800-353-6013.
Is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go to town for a great new Tundra or Tacoma. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Here's what we have in the NHL preseason scoreboard tonight. Starting the second period, Capitals 1-0 over the Flyers. End of the first, Rangers 3-2 over the Islanders. After 20 minutes of play, Detroit 2-1 over Buffalo. Later on, Stars in Minnesota and Utah visiting the Golden Knights. In our game, it's 3-1 for the Leafs over the Habs after 20 minutes of play. Oh, yes, Guy. The second period is next. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, it's Taylor, and we're celebrating a brand new era.
Are you ready for I can do it with a broken heart.
Welcome to the life of a showgirl on my channel.
Now for a limited time.
You got that dream look in your eyes.
Taylor's Channel 13 on Sirius XM.
At home with the Sirius XM app on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
And baby, that's show business for you.
The Power Play with Steve Coulias.
It's a pleasure to have back on the program Coach Joel Quenneville, back behind an NHL bench next fall.
And I couldn't be more excited about the opportunity to be in Anaheim. Working with Beaker over the last couple of weeks, we're having a lot of fun. The personnel and the young kids kind of represents and reminds me of what we had in Chicago when I first went there. And we got a really young team that's going to be exciting to work with for sure.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The wait is over.
6 seconds left. Out of the corner.
The Stanley Cup Final is set.
The Florida Panthers will defend their title on their way back to the Stanley Cup Final. For the second year in a row, it's Edmonton and Florida in the Stanley Cup Final.
Florida, Edmonton, 2 teams chasing hockey's ultimate prize. Follow all the action on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens getting set for the second period, and Toronto with a 3-1 lead. As Scotty Laughton scored twice, Bobby McMahon scoring with an extra attacker on the ice, but not a power play goal, as it was before the infraction had been rung up, and the Maple Leafs out shooting Montreal 7-5 in the first period. These two teams will meet again on Saturday night at Scotiabank Arena.
Not a lot of sustained pressure, though, from either side, was there?
No. But, you know, you think about some of the newcomers, people that are going to have to play roles or whatever, and certainly Matias Maccelli has been everything that you could possibly ask for at this particular point. Leafs get the puck down on the power play, moving right to left with a shot from the blue line that didn't make it through, and it's going to be cleared to the line but kept in. Near side into the slot, off onto the left wing side for Maccelli. Got it back to the point again, over on the far side for David Kampf. Kampf top of the circle with a pass down low. Backhand in front of the net, a jam play. Puck is still free, and finally Montembeault is able to cover up on it. As Dakota Joshua getting into a little shove session there with David Reinbacher. And a face-off will come in the Montreal zone.
The only thing you notice with Maccelli, Joe, is just watching him. He's a guy, and you don't want to make the comparison to a player that left in the offseason.
No, don't bring him up.
But he floats on the outside and then tries to get a lane to receive the pass and then, change an angle to give the pass back. It's one of those guys that sees the ice exceptionally well. But boy, he's got the hands. I mean, the setup on the first Laughton goal was incredible. First attempt gets blocked, and when he gets it back, it's just a one-touch pass off the right wing boards up to Laughton. He skated in and scored the opening goal of this game.
He's been impressive.
And again, we know it's preseason. By March, I don't think either of us will have a vivid memory of this.
No.
But still, for a guy that, you're wondering about what he can bring and what his abilities are, so far so good.
Puck down in the Toronto zone is launched high out at center ice. That'll force a defenseman back in after the puck to come away with it, and it is brought out at center ice and down into the Leaf end, and an icing call is going to be the end result, so it'll come all the way back into the Leaf zone. Ryan O'Rourke icing the puck.
Just saw a story where I guess Tyler Toffoli, because Carey Price's rights have been traded to San Jose, obviously for cap reasons. I guess Tyler Toffoli was going around telling the younger kids that Carey Price is going to play this year. He's going to get some games in. Of course, he's not. Because I guess Will Smith was the one San Jose player that was just so excited thinking he was going to be able to play with Carey Price.
Played off the boards to center. Leafs turn it puck over, getting into the slot with a shot that was blocked. Unable to get it through was Dakota Joshua. And the Canadiens have it back in their own zone. Played to center ice. Klurman couldn't get in over the Toronto line. Now Slavkovsky up forechecking, but the Leafs get it back to the Montreal blue line. But as things bog down, it turns into an offside, and so the faceoff will come back out at center. These two teams meet opening night, as has been the case over the many, many years that have gone on.
It's either Ottawa or Montreal for the most part, right?
And, of course, when the Leafs were in the Western Conference, they only saw the Canadiens twice. And, of course, we got cheated badly by not facing the Canadiens for the Stanley Cup Championship in 1993. Another story for another time. Well, let's talk about it now. I'm upset. Still upset. Bitterly upset. Played out at center ice. The Canadiens trying to get it into the zone. Play it off onto the left wing side. Matheson, and a penalty coming to Toronto here as it's along the far boards over the bench. Off the bench came Patrick Laine. Back to Matheson. Right wing side now for Noah Dobson. Back to Matheson. Into the corner. Laine looking for somebody in front. Goes back to the blue line. Canadiens still with the puck. And it goes off a skate. And Cairns not anywhere near the net. That would have been interesting.
That's how it happens, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Have we ever seen one?
I haven't. Not live. I've seen
no, that's what I mean. I don't believe we've ever called one.
No. Play it around the boards to the far side. Canadiens still with it. Leafs still haven't been able to come up with a puck, and a shot from the point goes off a leg. Montreal still with it, and it's back to the blue line. D to Dobson. Dobson to Suzuki. Suzuki back to Dobson. Dobson over on the far side. The one thing this is doing is tiring out the Maple Leafs, or the Canadiens' top power play unit as it comes to the near boards, but they still have not touched it, and now they do. And the Canadiens might want to call a timeout here because their number one unit has been on the ice for almost a minute and a half before the penalty was called, and it's going to go to Dakota Mermis.
Now, forgive me for this, but all I could think of as this was going on, referees had his arm in the air for a long time. Now, do you think that's part of their off-season training?
No, they have Sorbine Jr. in the penalty box, and they apply it liberally.
Walk around the house with your arm up.
Sure. Well, yeah, as long as you have a beer in the other hand, I guess you can keep one arm up as long as you want. Dear, I'm in need of another beer here.
You think of that, like do that for a couple of minutes, and skating around.
Yeah.
It can't be easy.
Can you switch arms?
Well, I've thought of that. I don't think so.
How long have we been in this sport? We've never asked whether you could do that.
Switch arms.
Yeah. That's the first question we're going to ask any of the supervisors that come to the rink.
But usually you got one arm in the air, the other arm has the whistle.
Whistle, yeah. Well, you could always quickly take it down and whistle, I suppose. Another story for another time. Puck down in the Toronto zone. Leafs on the penalty kill. Played along the boards. It's going to come past everybody and go out at center ice, and Matheson has to go back into the Canadian zone. A lot of things that have to be decided in preseason, including finding out about the official's arm. Back to the point, Caulfield. Matheson gets it into the corner. Back of the net, but they're looking for a pass in front of the net. None coming for Joshua Roy. Back to Matheson. Off in the wing. A one-timer. Good save there by Hildeby. Cleared to the line. Leafs catch a break. Laughton is able to secure it after it was blocked by the defenseman. And he'll bounce it down into Montreal territory with 45 seconds left in the power play. Matheson starting out with it. He will drop it off. Kirby Dach starts through center. Hits the Leaf blue line. Fed in on the left wing for Patrick Laine. Bank pass to the blue line. Back to the near side from Messer. Comes back on the near side. Trying to get it to the net is Demidov. Demidov with it on the near half board. Still with it. Working in front of the goal. A one-timer scores. Laine set up perfectly by Ivan Demidov. And the lead is cut to 1.
Montreal power play is clicking, and Demidov, who had a great start with the Montreal Canadiens, played 2 games at the end of the year, but scored, I believe it was his first shift against Chicago, and had everybody in Montreal excited about what he could do. But he brings it in from the right wing circle Looks like he's going to shoot. And then finds Patrick Laine open. Far circle. One-timer for the left wing side. And as we mentioned, 15 goals for Laine last year. 10 of them coming on the power play from that spot right there.
Well, he finds a spot, he maintains it, and he's got the quick release. And he's trying to resurrect his career in Montreal after Winnipeg and Columbus pretty much gave up on him. Shot down into the Toronto zone. 14 and a half minutes to go in the second period. Long lead pass to the blue line is tipped into Montreal territory. Going back is David Reinbacher. He has some trouble back at the net. The Leafs are able to come away with the puck and knock it into the far corner for Easton Cowan. Cowan trying to flip it in front of the net. Cowan got drilled and is slow to get up and maintains and now goes to the bench. But a penalty is coming to Montreal for the hit.
Going to be a roughing call?
Going to be boarding or roughing, one or the other, or maybe even interference. But the hand is up. Hope it's not the same official.
It is.
It is. Out to center ice, in on the left wing now for Thrun. Over on the far side, it's cleared out at center ice, and the Leafs have it again.
That arm is going to be twice the size of the other one.
Shot into the Montreal zone. Chopped at, finally, no, not touched or controlled by the Canadiens. Play goes on, and it's out at center ice now. And now the whistle goes.
Going to come out.
The Jackeye who made the hit. Well, the Canadiens have gotten on the board in the second period, but the Leafs hope to restore a 2-goal lead with the power play when we return. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With a Subaru, a vehicle that's built to last comes standard. Heated front seats? Standard. High ground clearance? Standard. EyeSight Driver Assist to help spot the scooter delivery guy texting, merging, and eating all at once? Standard. Parallel parking perfectly while someone watches? Uncommon. But in a Subaru? Standard-ish. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models and get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
The scrape of blades, the clash of sticks. Hockey's more than a game. It's unrelenting, never give up moments that make you feel alive. And so you commit to the weekly ups and downs, the long road to the playoffs. You wear your heart on your sleeve and your jersey with pride. And when you're there for your team, the NHL shop is there for you. Check out the largest selection of official NHL gear at nhlshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
Hey, it's Joe Bowen. It's time to sell your car. What are you going to do? Sell it yourself online? Are you sure you want to deal with strangers and all the crazy offers? Dealerships? You're spending your weekend waiting around and negotiating. There's another option. I've heard people raving about it. It's called Clutch. They give you a real offer up front, locked in with no surprise fees. Then they come to your home, pick up your car, and pay you on the spot. So go to clutch.ca and see what your car's worth today.
Oh, yeah.
Leafs are going to the power play, and a late hit by Jackeye has sent him to the box. Hey, I'm going to be very excited to watch the Women's World Rugby Championships with Canada playing England in the championship game on Saturday morning at 11. Lisa McKnight, who works at our golf course at Spring Lakes, who is one of the cart ladies that drives around. Her daughter, Taylor, is part of the team, and they have just dominated teams, beating everyone, including the former world champions, as a centering pass goes wide of the net.
You watched last week.
Oh, they beat New Zealand, and they beat them handily, and New Zealand has won like 9 in a row. Shot from the blue line is going to deflect and go out of play, and play whistle down. The game is at Twickenham Stadium in London on Saturday morning at 11. And the girls have had to do a lot of their own fundraising just to get there. Yeah. You know, and they are, they're a force to be reckoned with. It's going to be fun to watch.
Now, New Zealand, in all fairness, had some injuries, too.
Sure, but New Zealand is the pinnacle of rugby throughout the course. What would you know about it? You're not following it. I am going to hit you with a rugby ball. Back to the point. Leafs keeping the puck in on the power play. Pass into the slot, goes off a leg, comes out at 10. But that's what a good color man does. He fakes it.
That's right, Joe.
Yes. Here's a Leafs breaking in. Michelli, a backhander that went wide of the net. Michelli getting a pass from David Kant, gets it back to the point. The one-timer right on. And Bobby McMahon couldn't find the juicy rebound off Montembeault. And the Canadiens have cleared it with 58 seconds left to go on the power play.
See it again, though, Michelli, the little, really quick one-touch pass to the point to get the shot off.
Brought by Cowan through center. Played in on the right side. Cowan goes after the puck but can't control it. And the Canadiens are going to snap it out and down the ice. This is the third power play of the game for the Maple Leafs. Brought up on the left wing. Cowan got it in across the line. They work it in deep. Back on the boards with it is Kverberg. Back to the point. It'll come over on the near side. Lettieri with a shot, and that got through, but Montembeault went down and was able to cover up on it and hold for a face-off. And now some extra shoving in front of the net. Kverberg got flattened at the side of the goal, and is there going to be another penalty? So far, nothing more on it.
The back referee's just had enough of keeping his arm up. Montembeault sealing off the short side to keep the Leafs from restoring a 2-goal lead. Like Scott Laughton, though, right there in behind the defense looking for a rebound.
So no other penalties assessed. 14 seconds left in this one. Leafs out shooting Montreal 10-7. Back to the blue line. It comes off on the left wing to Cowan. Cowan dropping it back to the point again, off onto the right wing side. Thurn getting it back into the corner. Laughton curling out. Sends it to the front of the net. They score! Was that Lorenz stationed right at the side of the goal? Came out in front and gets his stick on it. And Steven Lorenz has given the Maple Leafs a power play goal. I believe it was a power play goal.
Yeah, it's going to be close. It was just about to expire. For a moment there, I thought it might have gone off a Montreal stick in front. And that would have given Laughton his third goal of the game. Laughton brings it out to the left wing corner, just throws it to the front of the net. Steven Lorenz was there. Easton Cowan was flying by through the slot as well. And Lorenz is able to redirect it. But Scotty Laughton now, a couple of goals. Well, that goes off the right skate of Lorenz.
Yep.
But Scotty Laughton, a couple of goals now with an assist.
So the Maple Leafs have restored the 2-goal lead. It's 4-2. 11:28 to go here in the second period. The Canadiens go back into their own zone to come out with it, and we'll play it down into the Toronto end. Laughton and Lorenz getting power play time, which probably isn't going to be a lot in the regular season. Pezzetta sending a puck wide of the net, comes away with the loose puck again, got it down into the corner. Unable to find it was Jacob Quillen, and the Leafs have to go back to retrieve it with Weber getting it up on the left wing and shot in by Henry Thrun, and the Leafs go into the forecheck. Pezzetta with a hit on the boards to take his man down, and that was a bit of a late hit that the Canadiens fans are upset with, and the Canadian defender is slow to get up and get to the bench. Leafs have it again and brought in on the left wing. Going wide, Bobby McMahon to the front of the net, and he rifled it off the crossbar and harmlessly wide, and Laine comes back the other way. Laine is spun around, and the Leafs are able to punch it out but get it into the bench of the Canadiens. And there'll be a face-off coming back in Toronto territory as a result. Getting drilled there, I think that was Nate Klurman who got punished on the boards by Pezzetta.
Boy, for Bobby McMahon. wonder what the ceiling is, right? 15 goals 2 years ago, hit the 20-goal mark last year. I think safe to say, disappointing playoff.
And the last part of the season, right? He was going well, and then it kind of petered out. But he's got to be a 25-goal guy this year to, I think.
Well, like, so many players in the league, whether you score 20 or 30 or 50 goals, they come in spurts. And that's what Bobby McManny did. 4 or 5 games when he was still in the net, and then 10 games when things weren't going.
Leafs punch it in over the line. Cowan trying to get it in front of the net. Laughton does it! Score! This time Lorenz is there again. And this time it doesn't go flukily into the net. He makes a great play to tuck it in on a deflection. And the Leafs have a 5-2 lead.
A lot of times coaches are looking not for 3 guys that will play together long term, but pairs that can feed off each other, and you're wondering if maybe Scott Laughton and Steven Lorenz have found something, whether they become part of a 3rd line or a 4th line for the Leafs. Scott Laughton just throws it to the front of the net. Steven Lorenz, a crafty little deflection to get it past Montembeault. That's halfway through the game now. Montembeault's given up 5. They got 3 on Linus Ullmark in Ottawa in one period.
5 of 11 have gone into the net against Montembeault, and now we get a whistle and a glove pass. So Lorenz will get the goal. I believe Cowan's going to end up getting an assist. He redirects it, and then Steven Lorenz tips it by him, and the Leafs have a 5-2 lead in Montreal. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This has gotten crazy. Every single night it feels like something exciting taking place.
It's the final week of the baseball season, and with playoff spots hanging in the balance, every pitch matters.
They're not in time! They clinch a playoff spot!
Your home for all the chaos is MLB Network Radio.
The wild card picture is going to be dramatic.
The countdown to the postseason is on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89, and the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or 2, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs game. Please take a second to hit that like button and bring more hockey fans here in the chat. Thanks for keeping it classy. I missed you guys. Wanted to hang out during the games live, listening to Joe Bowen's final season. So thank you for being here. Thanks for keeping it classy. And please let your friends know about the games. We'll be live Saturday morning for Brentford and Manchester United, like we always are for all the Man U games. As well, that evening, Montreal and Toronto, round 2. This time we'll be in Toronto. We'll see you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. Go Leafs, go. Go Manchester United, go. Cheers, everybody.
Scoring 5 goals on 11 shots. Scotty Laughton sharing a lighter moment with one of the officials at the Leaf bench. Played down into the Montreal zone. Half the game is in the books. It appears that if there is a goaltending change, it will be...
Montembeault still into Montreal.
Yeah, after the second period, if in fact there is going to be one. Puck out at center ice. Leafs have it sent back down into the zone with Jacob Quinlan getting it in there. Puck goes free along the boards, grabbed off by Joshua, but he can't make a pass. And the Canadiens' Caulfield carries to center. A pass in on the left wing was bouncing, and an attempted swipe at it there by Slavkovsky went nowhere. Pass on the right wing side now, and a wrist shot by Reinbacher was blocked before it reached the front of the net. Leafs trying to muscle it out on the wing, and they do, just getting it to center. Canadiens right back in again, sending it into the corner. Backhanded around the boards by Mermis. Backhanded again into the air by Gruel, and it's out at center ice and down into Montreal territory. David Reinbacher after it. Got it up on the wing. Another big hit. I'm thinking that was Michael Pezzetta, and it was. Who got that in? Former Canadian.
He's been noticeable.
Yes, he has. You better keep your head up. Out at center ice now is Rohr. He'll get in over the line. A fanning attempt there made by the Leaf defense, trying to get it out with Bo Gruel, but he didn't. It rolls to the side of the Leaf goal. Gruel around back of the net to get it into the corner. Can't make a play with it. And it's back up into the line, but not out. Long shot deflects wide of the net. Gruel seems to be in some discomfort as he got clipped there in the corner, but play goes on, and he's still out there, but he's hunched over a little bit. Puck goes back to the point. Canadiens off onto the right wing side with a centering effort that was blocked. They can't get it out as it comes back to the blue line. Trapped by Noah Dobson, but now it does come to center, and the Leafs will at least get a change of some players. But it is controlled by Dobson, who turns, and finally getting to the bench is Bo Gruel, and I'm sure that he's not feeling quite 100%. He's bent over at the bench. Leafs at their own blue line, chip it high and get it down into Montreal territory. 6:56 to play in the period. The Leafs 5, the Canadiens 2. Back behind the net, David Kampf trying to chip it out in front. McMahon is there to add support in the corner. Can't drag it along the dasher board. Still has it. Somebody's lost his stick, and that's pinned up against the boards with the puck. All of this excitement going on now. Trying to pick up his stick was David Reinbacher, or was that O'Rourke? I think Ryan O'Rourke, and then a shot from a sharp angle is handled by Montembeault, and we get some shoving at the side of the net with Bobby McMahon and Tuck in there, and now Jackeye has arrived on the scene, and Michelli has got Jackeye pushed up, and I think the official is pointing at Jackeye saying, "Coming with me, mister."
Really didn't seem to be a whole much to it. Now you got Tuck is throwing rights.
Weber's in there as well. The referees are Justin Kia and Eric Perlot. Jeremy Foucher and Johnny Murray are the linesmen. And Jackeye is coming to the penalty box.
After Montreal gave it away right at the side of the net. Bobby McMahon was almost able to jam it in short side. And after the whistle, that's when McMahon seemed to become the center of attention.
Well, it's one thing to be tough. It's another thing to take dumb penalties. And unfortunately, this one is a fairly dumb penalty for the Canadiens. See if the Leafs can take advantage of it. With the scrum and everything, the faceoff comes outside the blue line.
I think Foray and Jackeye's brother, Arbor, obviously has played with the Montreal Canadiens over the last couple of years. So one of the things that I love seeing is when they'll post how many brothers they played in the sport on the same team.
Okay. The Hulls.
Yep. The Niedermeyers in Anaheim.
Yeah. And we get an offside at the Montreal blue line.
I think the Sedins were brothers.
You're not sure, though, are you? They did have a distinct similarity in looks. So, how many twin brothers have played in the league?
Sure, by the way, we just
you don't have that information at your fingertips?
Oh, no, it's just the Sedin.
Just the Sedin, you think?
Well,
are you sure? No.
I don't know how many twins, period.
No, exactly.
Hockey league.
Yep. Played back into the Toronto zone. Cowan starting the power play out, drops it back. It comes ahead to the line and flipped in on the right wing. Chipped into the corner then for Lettieri. He comes out of it, tries to center. Got it back to the point. Getting a shot away, Mermis. Can't get it to the net. Down low now, here's a centering pass in front of the goal. They bang away at it, and unable to get to it was Laughton. Far side for Cowan. Cowan to the top of the circles with a shot. Big rebound in front. And trying to feather it in front was Vinny Lettieri instead of shooting it. And it was intercepted and shot out and down the ice with a minute to go in the power play.
You really thought with a quick shot there was some room blocker side, short side for him.
Yeah, I thought if he shot it, he might have had a crack at one. Leafs get it back into the zone. Benning at the blue line. Off on the left wing side. Michelli works back along the wall to the blue line and then retraces the steps to the top of the circle to Bobby McMahon. That was stopped. The rebound comes back to the blue line. Benning to the left wing side. Michelli looking in front of the net. Back it goes to Benning. Benning works to the middle. 28 seconds left in the power play to Michelli. Closing, doesn't shoot it. In front of the net now trying to make a pass. And it was knocked away from Bobby McMahon, but recovered by the Maple Leafs. Just kept in by Benning. To Michelli again. Michelli doesn't shoot it. Michelli dishes it off. But this is out of the reach of Benning, and it's down the ice.
So we just saw a note where Marshall Raffi will not return. Left the game for the Leafs.
All right. So the Leafs are down to 5 defensemen. And it's cleared out at center ice, and that forces Cowan back. Cowan got it ahead to Steven Lorenz. He has scored twice in this period. Puck down into the Montreal zone. The penalty has expired. 4 minutes and 5 seconds remain in the second period. Canadiens trying to break in. Oh, big hit there by the Maple Leaf defender as Weber caught his man and flattened him. Matheson back to the point. Matheson spinning on the near wing. Matheson holds, plays it along the boards. Canadiens cycling well, trying to get it free. Almost stealing it back was Cowan as he had it. Demidov's stick lifted, but now the Leafs get it out at center ice, and the Canadiens will turn it over, and the Leafs are going to get a much-needed change, flipping it deep into Montreal territory. Canadiens haven't had a shot on goal for 11 minutes and 28 seconds.
Just 7. The entire game here with a little over 3 minutes to go in the second.
Leafs shoot it down into the Canadian zone, leading 5-2 and out shooting Montreal 16-7. Puck along the boards in the corner in the Montreal zone, dug out, and will be played ahead at center ice and in on the left wing, trying to drive his roar, and he goes into the net. And a penalty is going to come here to Henry Thrun, and that will send the Canadiens to a power play as he got beat just a bit on the left-hand side and then had to kind of reach around and put the hook on his man. But a great hit by Weber as he flattens Demidov. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Pizza lovers know sometimes you need more than a medium. So 2-for-1 Pizza offers their large 2-topping pizza special. 2 delicious toppings, 1 large pizza for just $12.99. Classic pepperoni and mushrooms, ham and pineapple, bacon and green pepper. It's up to you. Order 2-for-1's large pizza 2 toppings for $12.99 deal today. Call 241-0241 or online at 2for1pizza.com.
2-for-1 Pizza, 2-for-1, oh, 2-for-1.
What's your starting point? Wanting to outrun your dog, even if it's a short-legged pug? Wanting to carry in all the groceries in one trip? Maybe it's the taste of independence from being able to open your own jar. Or is it right now, after learning that you can join Fit for Less for only $7.99 every 2 weeks? Experience fitness simplified and join today at fitforless.ca. Some conditions apply. Fit for Less. Everybody happy.
With most Subaru models, all-wheel drive comes standard. Heated front seats, high ground clearance, Apple CarPlay, standard. EyeSight driver assist to help when you're distracted by fall foliage, standard. Guy announcing the radio ad now wanting a Subaru? Yeah, standard. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models and get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Hey, seriously, can I get one?
Joe Bowen along with Jim Rao. Alex Mandarino is running the operation. Nick Scarcella pushing buttons, and we've got a couple of youngsters keeping an eye on things. Jag Kang and Kerwin Boudelier from Haligonia. When I worked at Halifax, there was a Boudelier playing in the National Hockey League. Paul.
Yeah.
But I pronounced his name as Boutillier and was quickly reprimanded about that. Then only to find out that the coach for Dalhousie was somebody named Pierre Page. No, Page. No, it's Page, you dummy. So, yeah.
Peter Page.
We learned quickly. Yep.
Which, by the way, was my first coach in pro hockey.
Yes. Played down into the Toronto zone. Leafs are a man short. Laughton, who has 4 points, carrying through center, but can't get the puck past Slafkovsky, and has played back down into the Canadian zone. Minute 30 left to go in the power play. 2:28 to go in the second period. Canadians dropping it for Caulfield. He overskated it but managed to get it in on the left wing side. Down in along the boards, trying to get around the wall was Robb. It comes back into the slot area. Leafs don't get it out. Suzuki keeping it into Caulfield. Caulfield working into the corner. Roy is in front of the net. The puck goes back to Caulfield, looking in front, still with it. Back to the point it goes. Matheson and back to Caulfield. Caulfield holds back of the net once more. Roy to the front of the goal. Caulfield trying to find him. And a centering pass for Slafkovsky. Gets some shoving going on in front of the Leaf net, but goaltender Dennis Hildeby found it and is able to cover up on it and stop play. Slafkovsky wearing an old-fashioned metal kind of a protective cage for a facial injury, but kind of looks like he's a minor hockey player out there with it, doesn't he? Kind of gets a bit of a late hit in on the Leaf defenseman Cade Weber.
Slafkovsky, 20 goals last year. He had 23 the year before, his second full season in the NHL.
Canadians on the far side off a face-off win, looking back towards the blue line, but it comes through the goal crease. And the one-timer on the near side by Demidov. It was a long pass, and Hildeby was able to get over, but Demidov, I don't think, got very good wood on it. And Dennis Hildeby makes the save.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of room either by the time he let that go. Hildeby did a good job. But we saw him do this a couple of nights ago, Joe, moving right to left. Get that big pad down, seal off the bottom part of the goal.
Canadians win the face-off again. Dobson at the point. One-timer fanned on. Centering pass to the far side for Laine. Didn't work. Leafs are trying to get the puck out, and it is blocked. But now they have some skating room and fighting around the boards, and it'll be pushed out at center. And here's Lorenz dragging the puck through center ice and sending it down into Montreal territory with 20 seconds left to go in the power play. 1:17 left in the period, and the Leafs lead 5-2. Kirby Dach comes through center to get it in on the left wing. And Laine has his pocket picked and now brought back by the Maple Leafs. Again, driving the net this time with Quillen. And he was taken down and collided a little bit with Montembeault, but that finishes off the power play. And the Leafs have it under control in their own zone to get it to center and backhanded deep into the Montreal end. Quillen going around back of the net after it for the Leafs. Punched back of the goal by Kirby Dach. Canadians having difficulties coming up with it. And finally in the corner, it's David Reinbacher getting it to the line and then brought in on a nice delay, and a shot from a sharp angle then by Gruel was blocked by Montembeault. Leafs worked that offside quite well. They had it in over the line, didn't touch it. Everybody tagged up, and they were able to get it under control and get at least a shot at the net. They've had 16 in the game. Canadians have had just 9. Leafs Michelli in on the left wing. A weak shot, looking more for a redirect there as Gruel was heading to the front. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Montreal zone as Montembeault covers up.
Might be the best time of year for sport, right?
Oh, is it ever? College football, NFL, baseball playoffs.
Hockey starting.
Exciting hockey. Well, maybe not preseason.
Well, I mean, we're coming up to it.
Yes. Yep, we are.
Basketball will be starting soon.
Played off the boards, but not out. Long shot deflects in front of the Canadiens. Goal right at the buzzer. And the Leafs will carry a 3-goal lead into the third period.
Probably an understatement to say what you love the most here in this game so far is that chemistry we're seeing between Steven Lorenz and Scott Laughton. Those two are a huge part of this 5-2 lead for the Leafs.
10-4, the Leafs outshoot Montreal in the second period, and 17-9. And Lorenz and Laughton have scored twice to lead the Leaf attack. Jim Taddy along with Anthony Stewart standing by with our second period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, it's Katie Nolan, your friend, favorite podcaster, and now Mad Dog Sports Radio host. That's right, I have a radio show now. It's fan service weekdays from noon to 1 Eastern. It's your sports fan hotline, a show for the fans and a place for you. Sports fandom is complex and emotional, and now we have a place to come together and talk about all of it. It's fan service with me, Katie Nolan, on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Coulias.
It's a pleasure to have back on the program Coach Joel Quenneville, back behind an NHL bench next fall.
And I couldn't be more excited about the opportunity to be in Anaheim. Working with Beaker over the last couple of weeks, we're having a lot of fun. The personnel and the young kids, it kind of represents and reminds me of what we had in Chicago when I first went there. And we got a really young team that's going to be exciting to work with for sure.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. We deliver the NHL.
With Rick Tocchet, new head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers.
What's special about the Philadelphia Flyers to Rick Tocchet?
The fan base, they loved hockey in this city. Some games you just don't have your legs, you don't feel great. For some reason, when you got the Spectrum, the fans made you like, nope, sorry, Toc, you can't take a night off. They willed you into that, give everything you got. And, I want to try to get that back here. I think the fans are itching for that.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM.
Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Come on, everybody, get the chant started. Let's get behind our buds as we take on the Canadiens tonight. Thank you for being here. Please make sure to hit that like button. And a big shout out to Steve A. for his awesome song, which we'll be playing during the intermission, as well as loyal, true Canadian heart. Toronto Maple Leafs, loyal, true Canadian heart. For the Super Chat, thank you so much. Now, go Leafs, go. Come on, get that chant going. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in there.
They say 1967 was the last time we danced, hoisting silver, hearts and trains. Since then, fate's played a wicked game, but we wear the crest, we chant the name. Sittler lit the night with 10, Turnbull fight 5 from the back end. Clark through thunder, Gilmore spun gold, Sundin stood tall, brave and bold. Kuja clawed saves from the jaws of defeat, Salmon's rush is pure elite. Reimer cried, we cried too. Matthews came and hope felt new. Marner weaves, Nylander flies. Rally's rush electrifies. We've seen the ghost, we felt the pain, but every April we rise again. Son of a bitch, I'm a Leaf fan. Through ballads, chaos, through Sunday's tears, through decades of drought, through wasted years, but loyalty, that's our brand. We stand, we chant, we clap our hands, we bleed the white, we wear the blue, we dream of what we're born to do. Raise that cup, parade the street, Maple Leafs, our hearts still beat. So cue the music, strike the chord. This ain't just hockey, it's folklore. From Carlton's grin to legends past, we're Leaf forever, built to last. Son of a pitch, I'm a Leaf fan, and when fate knocks us out again, we'll sing this verse, we'll feel the flame, because every year we play the game. As Leaf fans, we'd all like to thank Joe Bowen for all the calls he made. Maybe this year he'll call a cup. As Leaf fans, you know, we'll never give up. Never give up.
On waivers, or you know what I mean? But again, ultimately you want to win hockey games, and your contract status or your waiver wire status should not be a factor, right? You're going to lose probably, a decent player, but if Cowan can show he can step in and give you something with 10, 11, 12 minutes, I've been, having my ear to the social media streets. Just imagine him in the top six. No, he's going to have to work his way up there and start with 9, 10, 11 minutes and then work his way up there. But I'm very, very impressed by Lorenz and Laughton right now. They're showing they can be secondary guys. And, you look at the big picture of this Maple Leafs roster. Imagine if they have the ability now to score 30-plus goals. They got 35, 40. Last year, I believe they had less than 20 as a group, whoever was interchangeable on that bottom fourth line. So it's just an added bonus because regardless of putting up the points, they kill penalties. They play a heavy game. They're great in their defensive zone as well, too. This added bonus as offense is just going to make this Maple Leafs roster more potent.
Well, secondary scoring, that's a new wrinkle. I don't recall in this configuration of the Leafs that they've ever had secondary scoring.
Yes, it's almost making us forget about the person's name we shall not mention on this program. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves here too. It is a loaded Montreal roster. You saw Demidov with an amazing pass to Laine there for the one timer. That's probably going to be the factor for Montreal for years to come too. But to come in on the road, with your secondary lineup and bottom six guys come in and dominate offensively. I know it's just one game, but it's something to build on for this Maple Leafs group.
Well, and as we've seen with the Leafs, the A roster, I don't know if there's a lack of urgency or whatever because it's preseason hockey, but this group that Montreal iced tonight, and I don't want to take anything away from that Laughton line, but there is a lot of room to maneuver in the Montreal defensive zone, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of motivator cuff injuries on the Montreal side too. But remember, they're coming up to speed as well too. They're working on certain systems. They have some young guys that are getting involved. You're seeing Davidson, Jack Guy, and Tuck, and so they're giving them some opportunity and some ice. And I know power plays and specialty teams has been a factor as well too. But just like with Toronto, the last couple games, they're A1 guys. Like they were a little bit in neutral a little bit as well too. But again, it's only 40 minutes. I'm Craig Grube, you got to say, group, you still got to have your foot on your gas. You have one period. Some guys, you can see based on their ice time, this is their last opportunity, last period to make an impression on this group because I'm sure there's going to be some movement tomorrow with guys getting cut and getting set back down to the minors. So I don't see Toronto taking their foot off their gas like they did in the third period against Ottawa.
So I think we can do this, and we'll do it in the post game as well. This is our third game, and one period away from 3 complete games of the preseason. We'll be back with you next week. It's Saturday when the Leafs finish off against Detroit. But a lot of things have happened over the 3 games. How would you categorize that? How would you describe what you've seen in the 3 games that we've done?
You're going to hear this adjective a lot on this programming, so bear with me. Craig Berube hockey, right? They know Was there anybody caught out of position, or any turnovers, or any? Yes, there's been some mistakes here and there, but they're playing a steady Eddie system-oriented game. So I'm sure from day one of training camp they had a style, they had a culture that they're trying to set, and regardless of the sum of the parts, they're all playing that system and that structure. So there's been some surprises as well. You're seeing Hildeby, knock on wood, been playing great since he's come in last couple games as well too, and some unsung heroes and young guys stepping up. That is the recipe for a good season. So it's early, we can't get ahead of ourselves, but just to see some pleasant surprises. Michelli, a lot of people have been writing him off before the season even started. He's showing he's coming as advertised as well too. There's still some room for some guys to grow. There's also a little bit of pecking order where a guy's going to fit, but all around it's been a great effort for the majority of this Maple Leafs team through preseason, through 3 games.
And from what you know about Craig Berube's coaching style, we talked about this in the last game. There are pairs. When you go through the top 4 forward units, it seems that the winger, whether it's the right or left, there's an open spot there. And you could actually talk me into a 4-man rotation where, we could start with Easton Cowan in the 4th line, but maybe over time he moves up. Maybe Michelli can be placed in a couple of lines. McMahon could play in 2nd or 3rd. Domi could move around. I mean, I think it's going to be the whole season like that. Do you?
I think so, and you mentioned pairs, but there's going to be a lot of apples that need to be replaced, so we'll see some players step in and step up and elevate their game. I'm working on my puns, yes, Guy, but I like it, and again, I think you want some continuity and you want some structure and some guys, some lines that are set, but I think what helped this group last year was the competition factor, and it's going to continue this year, so you can be the top 6 one night, bottom 6 the other, the press box the next. That accountability is going to make this team better.
Stuart, when you said that, I wanted to give you the raspberry.
That's a good one.
There we go. 5-2 for the Leafs over the Habs after 40 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Sometimes you just need to start somewhere. Like when a simple day of yard work requires a full day of recovery. Or when your strongest muscle is your thumb from scrolling. Maybe it's realizing the longest marathon you've done involved watching TV. Wherever your starting point is, Fit for Less is ready for you. Get started for only $7.99 every 2 weeks at fitforless.ca and experience fitness simplified. Some conditions apply. Fit for Less. Everybody happy.
The housing crisis in the GTA has reached a critical point, with more than 2 in 3 residents being affected.
Reporting that almost 9 million Canadians are living in food-insecure households.
Over 1 million people in the GTA now live below the poverty line.
Just out today, mental health support is the #1 reason people are calling 211 for assistance.
At United Way, we wake up to a different alarm every day. Help us end poverty and build a better GTA any way we can. Donate today at unitedwaygt.org.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Ron is a teacher helping bright minds, but this time he needed help. Alpine Credit sent a cosmic superhero with a debt consolidation loan. She conjured a magic book, Debt Consolidation 101. Lesson 1, consolidate debt into one low monthly payment. Lesson 2, nothing. It's a short book. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this Air France message. Your journey to France begins when you set foot on the plane. In every class, you can start with a complimentary glass of champagne. And in the business cabin, departing Toronto, savor an exclusive menu created by our French chef Olivier Perret, showcasing local products. Enjoy an exquisite taste of France. Bon appétit. Elegance is a journey. Air France. Book your long-haul flight now at airfrance.ca.
With a Subaru, a vehicle that's built to last comes standard. Heated front seats? Standard. High ground clearance? Standard. EyeSight Driver Assist to help spot the scooter delivery guy texting, merging, and eating all at once? Standard. Parallel parking perfectly while someone watches? Uncommon. But in a Subaru? Standard-ish. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models and get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
The scrape of blades, the clash of sticks. Hockey's more than a game. It's unrelenting, never give up moments that make you feel alive. And so you commit to the weekly ups and downs, the long road to the playoffs. You wear your heart on your sleeve and your jersey with pride. And when you're there for your team, the NHL shop is there for you. Check out the largest selection of official NHL gear at nhlshop.ca. A Fanatics experience.
The Out of Town Scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra or Tacoma. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Here's what we have. Third period, Capitals 3-1 over the Flyers. Early in the third period, Rangers 4-2 over the Islanders. End of the second, Detroit 5-2 over Buffalo. Wild 2-0 over the Stars. End of the first period. Later on, Utah visiting the Golden Knights in NFL Thursday Night Football. Seahawks 7-3 over the Cards. That is at the end of the first quarter on TSN 1050. We'll go to that game when we conclude our Leaf coverage tonight. So it is 5-2 for the Leafs over the Habs after 40 minutes of play. This is Bolson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Your home for the biggest stories in the league is SiriusXM NFL Radio.
This is Rich Gannon from the SiriusXM Blitz. Week 4 is here, and we have a matchup of MVP quarterbacks when the Ravens and Lamar Jackson take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And Micah Parsons makes his return to Dallas as a member of the Green Bay Packers.
Micah Parsons registers the sack.
Those top stories and more right here.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's a pleasure to have back on the program Coach Joel Quenneville, back behind an NHL bench next fall.
And I couldn't be more excited about the opportunity to be in Anaheim. Working with Beaker over the last couple of weeks, we're having a lot of fun. The personnel and the young kids kind of represents and reminds me of what we had in Chicago when I first went there. And we got a really young team that's going to be exciting to work with for sure.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on SiriusXM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app.
The wait is over.
6 seconds left, out of the corner.
The Stanley Cup Final is set.
The Florida Panthers will defend their title on their way back to the Stanley Cup Final. For the second year in a row, it's Edmonton and Florida in the Stanley Cup Final.
Florida, Edmonton, 2 teams chasing hockey's ultimate prize. Follow all the action on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs carry a 5-2 lead into the third period against the Canadiens. Scotty Lorentz and
Steven
Lorentz and Scotty Laughton have scored twice in the game. And Laughton has got a 4-point night going because he's got a couple of assists as well. So,
was it last year, a couple of years ago, Fraser Mitten and Bobby McMahon, I think, sort of had that chemistry as well. We've got at least one goaltending change. As the Montreal Canadiens, Jacob Fowler takes over for Samuel Montembeault. And
he's got some impressive numbers, eh?
Boy, yeah. Got called up after finishing at Boston College. Only 2 years there. Played 3 games with Laval and went 2-1. But at Boston College last year, Joe, here are the numbers. 25, 7, and 2. 1.63 goals against average, 940 save percentage.
Wow. Well, here he's down to the right, Leafs to the left. Played down into the Montreal zone to start this third period.
Hey, I wish I could have been able to do that.
What, have those numbers?
No, go to college.
I'm sure that he probably got a scholarship, which helped. Brought to center ice now and shot into the Canadian zone. Fowler lets it go around back of the net. Leafs get it out into the slot, but no one there. As back checking there was Caulfield. Canadians organizing in their own zone with O'Rourke. Turned over in the center ice area. The Leafs bring it right back in again. Laughton dropping it back this time, but it was out of the reach of Cowan, and now the Canadiens are counterattacking. Slafkovsky across the line, getting it down into the corner. Challenged by Henry Thrun. The puck goes along the boards. A centering pass. Sharp angle shot that went wide. Dennis Hildeby remains in goal for Toronto, so there will not be a change there. We've still not seen Anthony Stolarz, and of course Joseph Wall has been excused from the team to deal with a personal matter and has not played in an exhibition game as yet. I would think that Stolarz would probably play a full game when he does get the opportunity to play. And we get an icing call here against Toronto.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in 2 of the last 3 games for sure. Probably both home games. Maybe a couple of periods to start and then the full game. It's the last preseason game against Detroit. Are they home on the Friday or Saturday?
Saturday. They're home Saturday, and then 2 games against Detroit. Back-to-back. Or not back-to-back, but 2 games. There'll be a day off in between. Played into the corner. Canadiens give the puck away. And the Leafs getting it out at center ice, and it'll be Joshua who gets it down into the Montreal zone. Forechecking there is Lettieri around back of the net. Juggles it with his hand. Carries on because he's got it out in front of the net. A weak shot by Quillen. Went off a skate and went wide. Around back of the net for Quillen in the far corner. Quillen looking in front of the net for Lettieri in the corner. Working with them is Dakota Joshua. But the puck is turned over and the Canadiens will skate it to center and backhand it to the line. Volleyballed up the boards by Matt Benning. Then he takes his man to the boards and tries to pin it there. Leafs are down to 5 defensemen as Marshall Rafai ended up leaving the game and has not returned.
We were talking about brothers that played together. You know, we sort of went through some obvious ones, but the Plager brothers.
Oh gosh, yes.
Bob Billy, and there was Brent Plager as well.
Yeah.
Right? The Hillmans ever play together? Larry and Wayne?
That's a good question.
Who is Bun Cook's brother? I thought there were 2 Cook brothers.
Cooks, yeah. The Richards.
Right.
The Gretzkys. His brother played 1 game, I think. But that counts.
Not in Edmonton, no.
No, not together, no.
No, we're talking.
Oh, you're talking about playing together, yeah. Hand pass making and then we get some shoving here. We got a pile up against the boards. And Jack Guy's in the middle of it, and he's got a bit of a headlock on Ryan Berberg. Jack Guy's looking for someone to do something with, but so far there hasn't been any. And the obvious one would be Michael Pezzetta, I would think, if there was going to be any of the heavy stuff go on.
Now, Jack, I mean, last year in Laval, pretty decent numbers, 24 goals in 69 games. But, as you pointed out, 175 penalty minutes.
Well, there's nothing more than a little bit of pushing and shoving on this occasion.
Now, would he be a reason, maybe, that Michael Pezzetta was not retained in the offseason? Got somebody that sort of played that role?
Yeah, I would think that's probably one of them. Davidson is another that can throw the punches. Jared Davidson.
What we've seen, be a little more, not quite like it was in the 80s when you had 4 or 5 scraps a night.
At least.
Oh, and forget the game. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Davidson is out there this time and leaning in against Ryan Verberg, but the puck goes back to the Toronto blue line, and the Leafs will start out with it. They'll get to the red line, but don't get it in deep initially. They'll scrum it up against the boards in front of the Canadiens bench, and they're still trying to find a handle on that disc. Finally, it's launched high into Montreal territory. Backhanded along the boards by O'Rourke. Jacky trying to work it up the boards without much success. There's Pezzetta in there now, battling on the wall with him. And Jacky giving Pezzetta a couple of cross checks. And the puck goes around to an open corner on the near wing. Pinching there was Benning, but he can't keep it in. Canadians have launched it out at center and across the line, left wing side. And Jacky's shot is easily handled. And then he decides to get things stirred up again by going to the front of the net and breathing heavily on Dennis Hildeby.
The referees are kind of had enough of Jacky. Hildeby looked calm, cool, and collected, snapping up that shot from the top of the left wing circle.
Yeah, Jacky just kind of sliding in there just to see if he could stir something up. Nothing occurs.
Every now and then, got to look at Craig Berube on the Leaf bench. You're thinking, you know exactly what's going through his mind.
Oh, absolutely. If I was out there. If I were out there. Oh, yeah. No kidding. Puck around back of the net. Roar had it taken away. The Leafs have it under control in their own zone and break it out on the wing for Henry Thrun. He'll shoot it into the Montreal zone. Bouncing puck back of the net. Leafs leading 5-2 in the third. Come away with it. Get it back to Thrun at the point. He walks to the middle of the ice. Tried to get a shot through that was blocked. David Camp does. In front with the shot right on. Good save there made by Fowler. That was set up nicely with Bobby McMahon in the high slot. He got pretty good wood on it. Puck back in the Toronto end. Played off the boards to center. Both teams are getting a change in as Matheson circles back in his own zone. Left wing feed for Slafkovsky. Turned over at the Toronto blue line. Well, the coaching staff, Mike Van Ryn along with Derek Lalonde and Mark Savard, Craig Berube, of course, got to be happy with the Leafs' defensive play. Right from the forwards on back, they've allowed just 10 shots on goal. Here's a shot that is going to be caught by Fowler. And so another faceoff coming in the Montreal zone. 19 shots on goal for Toronto at this point. 5 of them beating Sam Montembeault for a 5-2 lead.
And that's, the prettiest of goals that the Leafs have scored, but a lot of them just going to the net, looking for the redirection, the fortunate bounce.
Played off on the boards and backhanded high into the corner. Round back of the net it goes. Leafs dig it out. Lorenz coming off the end boards, coming to the front of the net with a shot, and he got a double opportunity, then a point shot, scores! A bullet from Matt Benning.
And
that
again,
brought back some fond memories.
Hey, again, it's just traffic in front. And the Leafs are able to find a way to get it through. But again, it's the Laughton line with Lorenz and Cowan. I mean, boy, this is a blast. I think the Montreal players, Joe, provided more of a screen than Scott Laughton did.
And Laughton almost got his stick on this, but I think this is all the way from Matt Benning. And the Maple Leafs have a 6-2 lead on the Canadiens in the third period.
6 goals on 20 shots.
That's a decent shooting percentage, Mr. Ralph, and I don't even have to take my shoes off to figure that out with all of the ciphering that's going on here. Leafs bring it in over the line on the left wing side, trying to get it in front, Lacheri, and this time it is caught by Fowler. Bringing it back. Jim Benning, of course, was part of that really, really young defense corps. Bob McGill was part of it.
Gary
Nyland. And unfortunately, they were just all at the same time. They were all that youthful that things never really materialized positively for them.
Well, and not being smart about it, it was the 80s.
Yes.
You know, when you had 9-7, 10-8 games on a regular basis.
Gretzky and company in Edmonton. But Jimmy Benning then went on to be a part of the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah. He was an agent as well before that.
Yep. And Matt Benning, his nephew, at the Toronto training camp, and he has scored a goal here in the third period. Canadians get it out at center. Luke Tuck gets it down into the Toronto zone. Back to the net. Benning plays it on the backhand. A little tip pass gets out at center ice. And Tverberg gets it in over the line. Ryan Tverberg then had it taken away. Canadians sending it right back in with Jared Davidson getting it into the Toronto end. Benning takes a hit from him, gets the puck ahead, and now is going to be able to skate it up on the right wing. And Benning will get to center ice. Ran into a traffic jam there. Took a hit from Jacky, and the puck along the boards. Tverberg gets his man. Now a 2-on-1 developing. But a high stick penalty is coming here against Toronto, apparently, and Benning heads to the Toronto bench, but it's not he who is getting the penalty.
The Verberg, after that hit that caused the turnover, might have got the stick up.
So it is a 6-2 Toronto lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With one word, she united the world. Her powerful and joyous voice became the defining sound of salsa, earning her the title of queen and her own Sirius XM channel. Her timeless hits and the music she inspired. All on Celia Cruz Azúcar. Streaming now on the Sirius XM app.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs game. Please take a second to hit that like button and bring more hockey fans here in the chat. Thanks for keeping it classy. I missed you guys. Wanted to hang out during the games live, listening to Joe Bowen's final season. So thank you for being here. Thanks for keeping it classy. And please let your friends know about the games. We'll be live Saturday morning for Brentford and Manchester United, like we always are for all the Man U games. As well, that evening, Montreal and Toronto, round 2. This time we'll be in Toronto. We'll see you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. Go Leafs, go. Go Manchester United, go. Cheers, everybody.
XM app. Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate. Weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Benning from Lorenz and Cowan has extended the Toronto lead to 6-2, but they'll go into the penalty kill on a high stick. That was sort of an accidental thing because he got filled in there by Matheson.
Well, and then Matheson sold it pretty good as well, but stick did come up on the left shoulder of the Montreal defenseman, and that was enough to get the call.
Both in the Toronto zone.
And both Montreal goals have come on the power play.
Draw won by the Canadiens. Back to the blue line. Matheson works it back into the corner. In front of the net is Joshua Roy, but it comes back to Matheson. Off on the right wing side. Back to Matheson again. Looking for Suzuki, but doesn't give it to him. Now it does. Suzuki closes with a shot that deflects high and wide. I don't think Hildeby even saw that. He was kind of looking around, wondering where it was, and then he heard it go off the glass. Leafs have iced the puck. Matheson starts back up ice. He will drop it for Caulfield. Caulfield to center. Caulfield in, works it back into the slot. Broken up by the Leafs again. Broken stick on the far side. And as it came in front of the net, the stick that had got knocked out of Suzuki's hands, it was Suzuki standing there unable to shoot it because he didn't have a cue. Matheson sends it back in along the boards. Caulfield now getting it back again. Caulfield in the near circle, back to the point. Matheson looks to the far side for Suzuki, goes to Caulfield. Centering effort for Tuck. That's broken up. Leafs are going to skate it out at center. And it is Joshua just sending it down into Montreal territory with 43 seconds left in the power play. 11:56 to go, third period. Toronto 6, Montreal 2. Canadians coming out of their own end. Demidov to the line and in. Laine got it in a little deeper for him. Demidov sending it around on the far boards. Canadians get it back to the point. Now to Laine on the left wing. His speed went off a skate. Played back. Laine with it again to the blue line. Off on the wing and centering pass. And a wrist shot taken by Doc. Was deflected up into the screen. And a face-off again in Toronto territory. 9 seconds left to go on the power play, and still just 10 shots on goal for Montreal.
Leafs did a pretty good job here of just clogging up the middle.
And
stick on pucks. By the way, going back, you start going down a rabbit hole. Talk about brothers that have played together in the same team. We've got the Stastny brothers.
Yes.
Sutters, Mark and Eric Stahl. Hughes brothers.
Yep. Shot smothered by goaltender Hildeby.
Pavel and Valerie Bure played together in Florida. Boy, we're going to get another penalty here. Peter and Miroslav Vinacek.
Esposito's played together on Team Canada.
Yeah.
And so did the Mahovlich boys. They played together in Montreal and in...
Brian and Barry Cullen.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Bobby and Dennis. What about Odie and Cleghorn?
Cleghorn, the Cleghorn boys, yes.
Montreal.
Face off to the left. Power play has 3 seconds left in it. You're still digging on that rabbit hole, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Attention span of a cheesy fly.
Having a nice cheesy fly. Centering pass in front. And it was just off the stick wide in the Montreal zone, or in the Leaf zone by the Canadiens. But it is pushed out at center, and the penalty is over.
Denny and John Putt then?
Yes. Now here are the Canadians with a spinning move by Kirby Dach that got the crowd a little excited, but it didn't amount to much, and it's cleared off a stick inadvertently by the Canadians into the center ice area. Delgado will shoot it down into the Toronto end. Leaf defenseman Matt Benning in there to dig it back around behind the goal. Benning trying to shield it in along the wall, trying to make a pass into the slot area for a Leaf that was intercepted. Canadians back at the point, sending it back at the net. Joshua Roy got it in front of the net, and another Toronto penalty is coming.
Montreal's had more offensive zone time, but boy, that's not showing up in the shots on goal, is it?
Philip Myers is getting the penalty for the Maple Leafs. Another power play here for our Montreal.
Canadians just 2 shots on goal here so far in the third period. 5 in the first, 4 in the second.
This will be the 5th power play or 6th power play for Montreal, I believe. They've scored twice. Now with 10:19 to go. Penalty coming against the Maple Leafs. And this is the 5th power play opportunity. 8 of their 11 shots have come with the man advantage.
Scary stat, isn't it?
Really? Caulfield is taking the face-off against David Camp.
I bet you Dennis Hildeby loves this stuff, right? You got a 6-2 lead. Give me some work.
Yeah. Played off the boards on the far side. Canadians with the man advantage. Down low for Caulfield. To Suzuki on the near half boards, returned. Now here's Suzuki stepping out, back to the point. Matheson, the one-timer on the far side. Good block over there by Matt Benning. Benning's been impressive. Not only the goal scoring, but defensively. Now he's tying the puck up against the boards here. Has it in his skates. Tipped in front of the net. The Leafs pick it off. And it's brought out in center ice by Dakota Joshua. He's going to send it deep into Montreal territory. He'll go in to try to disrupt things, and he's done it enough to have it forced back. And now brought out by Suzuki. He and Caulfield exchange the puck, and it's in across the line. Along the boards then for Roth. Back of the net for Suzuki. Now to Caulfield. Caulfield back to the point. And a bad pass bounces out at center as Mike Matheson had no chance to keep that in. Shot back into the Canadian, or into the Leafs zone by the Canadiens. Stolen by the Leafs. And out at center ice, it is sent quickly by Scott Laughton. 50 seconds left to go in the power play. Matheson back in his own zone, and Laine will drop it back. Brought by Doc through center ice. In over the line, trying to one-handed off a glove, and it trickles in to Hildeby, who will put the glove on it, stop play, and send a face-off in the circle.
The third preseason game for the Montreal Canadiens, but 3 in 4 days. So you wonder if that has sort of played into maybe not being as rested or as sharp. I know you've got different lineups, different rosters coming in and out of the lineup.
But they have not generated much in the offensive department unless it's been on the power play. Circling with it now is Messer. Back on the right wing side. The Canadiens around back of the net. Messer gives it off. Coming to the side. A centering pass intercepted. And the Leafs rifle it off the boards and out and down the ice. Now with a dozen seconds left to go in the power play. 8:28 left third period. 6-2. The Leafs with a comfortable advantage on Montreal. Demidov got across the line, dropping it back to the point. Reinbacher gives the puck away, and it is cleared by the Leafs and out of the penalty box. Myers looking for a man. He's got Cowan with him. He drops it to Cowan. Cowan trying to find an opening, but couldn't make a pass. Carries the puck out at center ice, though, and maintains possession. Now Cowan up on the right side. Brought in over the line by Jacob Quillen. Trying to find Cowan heading to the front of the net. That's turned over. Canadiens get back at center and will roll a rolling puck in on goal. That's going to be scooped up by goaltender Dennis Hildeby. And there's Jack Guy again, providing, trying to get into some nonsense. And so is Luke Tuck, but nothing more will develop.
One of those guys, you see with a number of players through the years, there's a glaze, right? Across the eyes, you're gone. I'm not sure what's going on behind them.
Or what's going on in betwixt those ears, too. Yeah, exactly. Same glaze. At any rate, the Maple Leafs with a 6-2 lead here in the third. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
What's your starting point? Wanting to outrun your dog, even if it's a short-legged pug? Wanting to carry in all the groceries in one trip? Maybe it's the taste of independence from being able to open your own jar. Or is it right now, after learning that you can join Fit for Less for only $7.99 every 2 weeks? Experience fitness simplified and join today at fitforless.ca. Some conditions apply. Fit for Less. Everybody happy.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
People sometimes ask, sure, you can consolidate people's debts using telekinesis, but what else can you do? As if changing lives isn't enough. Well, I can also use my power to make it rain hot dogs. It's still not as cool as consolidating debts into one easy payment, though.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
The scrape of blades, the clash of sticks. Hockey's more than a game. It's unrelenting, never give up moments that make you feel alive. And so you commit to the weekly ups and downs, the long road to the playoffs. You wear your heart on your sleeve and your jersey with pride. And when you're there for your team, the NHL shop is there for you. Check out the largest selection of official NHL gear at nhlshop.ca. A Fanatics experience.
It has been Scott Laughton's night. 2 goals, 2 assists. And line mate Steven Lorenz has scored twice. Matt Benning and Bobby McMahon single tallies. The Maple Leafs have a very nice 6-2 lead here in the third period, trying to win their second preseason game in 3 tries. Pushed out at center ice, racing after it and getting tripped up there was Tverberg, and then he scores! I'm not sure whether a penalty was going to be called But Ryan Tverberg shows some real dedication there. After being tripped up, he perseveres, and it is 7-2.
Second goal they get on Jacob Fowler here in the third period. But I think what happened with him getting tripped up, stumbling onto his knees and back up, I think that kind of screwed with the timing of the goaltender. You know, you think, I'm set, I'm ready. No, now he sneaks around a couple of guys and throws it back the other way.
I think it also screwed up the defenseman who got kind of looking at the puck instead. And so the Maple Leafs with a 7-2 blowout against the Canadiens, and a shot from the point went wide of the net. Leafs pushing it on with a puck back of the net. Centering pass. That didn't connect. Back to the point it goes, though. Kept in by Mermis. Along the wall and into the corner. Down the boards goes Bo Gruel. He gets tangled up there and knocked down on the play and unable to help him out. It comes out at center ice, and the Canadiens will get to the blue line and flip it deep into Toronto territory. Joshua Roy up against the boards. Had it taken away by Cade Weber, who plays it into the corner. Canadiens after it as Shaky got it freed up, but the Leafs get it out at center, and it's to the line and in, around the boards and down into the corner. A hit there. Shaky trying to help out on the wing for the Canadiens, but the Leafs play it into the far corner. Back of the net is Jacob Quinlan. Quinlan trying to come away with it. Blocked the attempt there to get it freed up for Lettieri. Back to the point. D to D over to Benning. Benning into the slot area. Gets it returned. He'll go to his defense partner on the far side. Twisting with that is Henry Grun. Grun trying to keep it in and does. Playing it around back of the net. And a whistle behind the play. And I'm not sure what it's for. I'm not getting a look at the official anyway.
If it's a penalty, it's got to go to the Leafs. They had control of the puck when the whistle went.
Pretty nifty little move, though, by...
Yeah, and does this go under the arm of the goaltender?
Yeah, I think it did.
The Fowler we mentioned, he had great numbers at Boston College.
Well, maybe...
I tell you, he really hasn't had a whole lot of chance, and either of the goals that beat him here in the third period, all through screens.
Well, we never do find out what the whistle was for, but the play is back underway with 6 minutes to go in the third period. At the point, Myers unable to keep it in for Toronto, out at center ice, trying to get it in over the line, but it's intercepted, and Myers will get it ahead for Bobby McMahon, who sends a long wrist shot in on Jacob Fowler, and the goalkeeper will catch that and hang on for a face-off coming in the Montreal zone. Join us on Saturday night when these two teams will meet again. This time at Scotiabank Arena. 7 o'clock is our startup time. The Leafs and the Habs. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's week 4 in the NFL, and whether you're winless or undefeated, a championship is still in reach. And the experts of Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio are passing out winning strategies.
I'm telling you, do not bench Ashton Genty. Not this week.
From the latest injury news to lineup decisions.
I'm excited for Jackson Dart, but not starting him yet.
Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help on Sirius XM Channel 87 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review
with Mick Kern.
11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The wait is over.
6 seconds left out of the corner.
The Stanley Cup Final is set.
The Florida Panthers will defend their title on their way back to the Stanley Cup Final. For the second year in a row, it's Edmonton and Florida in the Stanley Cup Final.
Florida, Edmonton, two teams chasing hockey's ultimate prize. Follow all the action on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL Play-by-Play on Sirius XM.
Leafs with a 7-2 lead in the closing minutes of the third period. And taking what you will from a game that is preseason, Matt Benning has looked impressive. Obviously, Laughton and Lorenz have played very well together, which augurs well since they more than likely will be teamed together during the regular season. But Dennis Hildeby has been very solid. Puck goes in front of the net. Now Hildeby blockered that away on a sharp angle shot that went wide.
Yes, Michelli has been good too, Joe.
Yes, yep. So lots of, and Michelli has certainly demonstrated that he is a disperser of the puck.
Yeah. I mean, just when you go back and watch the opening goal by Scott Laughton, the bank pass by Michelli, a one-touch bank pass up the right wing boards. Not a lot of the guys have the vision, and a lot of guys that might have the vision can't execute it.
Easton Cowan has picked up an assist here in this third period. I don't know if he's been as noticeable as he has maybe in other games. He's played in all three thus far.
Now he has been out with Laughton and Steven Lorenz.
Yep. Puck up on the left wing. The Leafs get it in over the line. 4:19 left to play in the third. Benning has it again in the center ice area, working with Myers. Benning with a bank pass off a skate. Unable to get it into the zone was Dakota Joshua, and it bounced down into the Toronto end. Benning sending it around the boards on the backhand. The other thing about Matt Benning is that he is a right-handed shooting defenseman, and it's ironic he's forced to play left defense here tonight. How many times is a right-handed shooting defenseman forced to play on the left side? It's almost unheard of.
Goes against Hockey Lord.
Doesn't it ever? Puck in the Montreal zone, and the Canadiens will just get it to the red line. Trying to press the attack was Demidov. He is tied up by Quillen. In fact, is thundered to the ice with a forearm shiver. And the Leafs have the puck in their skates, played around back into the corner, and now back of the net. Toronto organizing, and they'll play it off the boards into the center ice zone. Canadiens regroup at their own blue line. 3 minutes to play in the third period. Centering pass. Dropped back there by Laine. Off on the wing, trying to work out with a wrist shot that rolled wide of the net by Nate Clermont. It comes back, and McMahon is able to redirect it out at center. Now an errant pass goes down into the Leaf zone as both teams are getting a change in. Henry Thrun gets it out at center. Bobby McMahon will launch it high and get it down into the Montreal zone. The goaltender, Lou, almost shot that over the glass. Trying to play it away from a forecheck. Shot back down in. Fowler lets that one go. On the boards, Michelli dug it out. McMahon with a shot. That was blocked in front of the net. But again, Michelli making a nice little pass to get the puck, and now in over the line. A pass in for Michelli this time, and he just deflected that wide as Camp was able to set him up, turning things around a little bit. Leafs with it back in their own zone. 2 minutes to play. Long bouncing puck down, and that goes on goal. Now, is there something going on behind? Yep. Behind the scenes, one of the Canadiens is pinned to the ice. Linesman is on top of, and it is Dakota Mermis who has the Canadian down there. Weber and Jack Guy are having a word. Who was it pinned to the ice was Luke Tuck. Not sure how this all materialized.
Oh, yeah, a bit of a late hit.
And then Tuck and Mermis got into a wrestling match, and Mermis is a better wrestler.
We talked about the brothers that have played in the same NHL team at the same time. This is a little off topic. How many times have you had two Dakotas playing in the same team at the same time? Go to Mermis, to go to Joshua, I believe.
I don't know of another Dakota. I know north and south, so there's two Dakotas there.
Dakota Joshua's got to be north as he plays up front. Dakota Mermis plays south.
Very good. No, very good. No. You know what? You are starting to round in the mid-season form, and it's only exhibition game number three.
I'm pretty sure I'm there. I don't think at this point I'm getting any better.
No. Well, we all strive to improve. We can strive as much as we want, but it's not happening.
The last stage is acceptance.
Yes, that's true, too. Shot down into the Toronto zone. Coincident minor penalties there. Benning gets slew-footed there a little bit, but the Leafs get the puck down the ice. Backhanding it is to Burberg to get it back in the net. And a minute and a half remains in the third period. Ryder Cup starts tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun to watch. And again, make sure you tune in to the Women's World Rugby Championships at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun. We'll be with you on Saturday as well. Rugby on Saturday. The golf starting tomorrow. Minute to go in the third period. Leafs get it in over the line. Cowan working down into the corner. Cowan after it again, trying to dig it free. Bouncing distant. No one gets a handle on it, really, until it's played to center ice by Ivan Demidov. Matheson with it in his own zone. Got it up for Line A. Matheson with it again. A half a minute left to go. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart standing by for the post-game show. And the Maple Leafs, a very workmanlike effort in Montreal. They have limited the Canadiens to just 13 shots on goal. And are going to walk away with this one with a 7-3 or 7-2 victory. 7 goals on 25 shots. Final seconds ticking down.
We have seen a theme, haven't we? Home team loads up from the veteran guys. Visiting team wins. We saw it when Ottawa's come back win a couple of nights ago. The Leafs won in Ottawa. Again, with a squad like this, sort of a makeshift squad. But you know what? You get the opportunity. Like we said, you look at one of these buildings and you look on paper and you say, this should be 7-2 Montreal. But the guys that are in the blue and white uniforms are saying, look, this is our opportunity. We don't want to be embarrassed.
No.
We don't want to come out and prove we don't belong in this
we're trying to make a point here.
Yeah. And I think that's why, you get games that are a little surprising if you just base it on the rosters and the lineups that are put out.
But a couple of local guys spring the win and certainly are impressive here this evening. Scott Laughton, 2 goals, 2 assists. And Steven Lorenz with a pair of goals, leading the Leafs to a 7-2 victory. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart coming next. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, Metallica family. This is James.
It's Lars. This is Kirk.
It's Robert.
It really means a lot to have our own channel here on Sirius XM.
For us to be able to have a platform to share the music that we love, the music that we create, the music that inspires us.
The most Metallica anywhere. Maximum Metallica. Do you want heaven?
Channel 42 and the Sirius XM app. On right now.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio puts you on the ice.
If you're trying to describe what playoff hockey is,
well, the ebbs and the flows, the momentum changes, the willingness to sacrifice whatever it takes, whether it's blocking a shot with your face. Every opportunity matters. We learn an awful lot about ourselves in the playoffs and how you rise to the challenge and are willing to do whatever it takes for the team to be successful.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. We deliver the NHL.
With Rick Tocchet, new head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers.
What's special about the Philadelphia Flyers to Rick Tocchet?
The fan base, they loved hockey in this city. Some games you just don't have your legs, you don't feel great.
For some reason, when you got the Spectrum, the fans made you like, nope, sorry, Talk, you can't take a night off. They willed you into that, give out everything you got, and I want to try to get that back here. I think the fans are itching for that.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have a take and don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs.